Stats Norsworthy and former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn.
Beautiful morning, you're the sun of my morning, babe.
It's a Friday, March 11, 2022, and you're checking in with Sportstime on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. We're always live from the Family Leisure Studios in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. I am Gabe Kuhn, producing the program on the ones and twos. Is Go Tigers 247 writer Bryant Dacus. Bryant, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's Friday.
What we got tonight?
A lot of basketball.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. I'll get you some. I'll get you some later. I don't got
What's the hat?
I don't got my notebook out right now, so I have to.
You have to write it down. You always make.
Oh, it's already written down. It's just in my backpack.
Right.
I haven't pulled it out yet.
And you have different colored highlighters.
I highlight it by time. I highlight it what I like.
Nice. I like a man with a plan.
And my partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. Brett, how are you?
Great, Gabe. Good Friday to you. Great Friday and tournament action full swing. I'm scared of some of these teams out here in college basketball with a little less than great efforts and being real sharp. I just don't think this is the time of year to hit the off switch because you may not be able to get it back to on.
And I'm sort of wondering and I don't think Auburn necessarily fits that bill. But they're 5-4 in their last 9. Auburn
been a little loose.
Just lost to A&M. They've been a lot looser. I agree with your sentiment, though. Those teams that think they can sort of skate by and they're not really worried about their conference tournament, turning it back on come NCAA tournament time's tough to do.
Here comes A&M to potentially be the 7th SEC bid. How hard one do you? Should they be a 7th bid or should they be the 6th and Alabama go to the NIT?
Oh, I don't have.
You're the committee.
I'm
You're the committee.
It's gonna be Bama, but I'm not a Bama fan. If that's where we're going with this, I watching them last night versus Vandy. Scottie Pippen Jr. wasn't even good last night.
No.
Didn't shoot a high percent. I know he's a volume guy, but I think he was 1 for 11 from the field in the first half.
Lived at the free throw line.
And Bama was up 51-36, and Vandy outscored them 46-25 to end the game. And Nate Oates, look, I have given him enough credit at this point. I'm out on him. He is a incredibly lame in-game coach. He's incapable of making just tiny, realistic offensive adjustments.
When your game plan is, if we make threes, we're formidable. If we don't, well, tough toenails. That's hope. That's not a plan.
Making shots is a great game plan until you miss shots.
Yeah.
It's annoying, too, because
if you make them, you maul people.
On that stretch that Vandy went on to win that game, Alabama was 2 for 13. They shot 13 threes in an 11-minute stretch and made 2 of them and just couldn't do anything. And Nate Oates he didn't keep doing what you're doing was basically what I surmised of what he was telling them on the sideline, because they did the same thing and expected different results.
And he's gotten very sensitive to the criticism. So I think that means it's hitting the middle of the bullseye.
And something gives me the idea that he doesn't like this team very much. He lost.
Well, he sure doesn't like him as much as last year's team.
Well, yeah, he lost some of those guys. It was John Petty, Herb Jones. He lost those older guys that could make things happen when things broke down. This year's team just can't do that, and he's struggling because of it. But again, they have beaten Gonzaga. They have beaten these teams that you just sit back and you say, how have they willed themselves to this position?
The good side of their resume is really, really special.
The bad side's awful.
And a lot of it was now a long time ago, but I am a believer in if you did it on opening night of the 21-22 season, it counts.
And also with
good or bad.
With a guy like Nate Oates and what you know his style to be. And I honestly, getting players and recruiting and getting certain guys who can pick it up for him in the future. I understand that could happen. But do you have any, next year, the year after that, do you have a bunch of hope that he's going to be any better than he is right this second? Because I feel like other SEC teams see his style and they're going to know how to attack his team, especially on the defensive end.
The tape has really gotten around on them. It's get a couple of stops, get them a little frustrated, have them, have more heaves than really good shots.
Close out. Make them attack the closeout.
Make them.
They don't want to.
Didn't UCLA show that?
Yeah.
Last year?
They do not want to attack the closeout. They want to just shoot. And you saw it yesterday, and Vandy.
But I love the bracketology. We have them on. There are a lot of bracketologists on this station. I like listening to them. I like bracketology really from about Thanksgiving on. For sure, from December on, because you're playing a lot of those non-conference teams there that really establishes your net, your RPI, whatever metric you want before you fall into just consistent conference play. I know the SEC has the Big 12 challenge, and sometimes you dip in and dip out of conference in January, in February, but not a lot. I like all those guys. But this week, of all the things, let's go over from any bracketologist you want to pick. Head-to-head doesn't count. Mm-hmm. November games don't count. What the heck counts? The last
quad 1 and quad 2.
Here's another thing that doesn't count. We no more factor. We no longer factor as much as we once did how you close down the stretch. Well, the Tigers have closed really strong.
Right.
I know years that's been held against them. Now that they do it, that doesn't mean anything anymore. What matters?
And of course, the Tigers do have a game versus UCF tonight at 8. We will be discussing that a little bit later on in the show. Also, Grizzlies play against the Knicks. But this SEC tournament has me just sort of bewildered right now with some of these teams. Auburn, I got proved right today why I don't trust them, Brett. I know exactly why I don't trust them, because that guard play is so shoddy. It's so inconsistent. Yes, they have scoring guards that can go get you some buckets here and there. KD Johnson, Wendell Green Jr., the whole 9 yards. But in the end of the day, how can I trust them when KD Johnson today goes 0 for 14,
and just kept
0 points,
and
just kept putting – he took the most shots on the team, and Bruce Pearl didn't pull him out till, 3 minutes left in the game?
You're texting me. I'm watching and I'm following. I'm seeing what you're seeing, but you had a really good, keen eye for it. And the rest of the game, I swear, I looked and thought that Bruce Pearl was going, I'm going to let him keep on shooting. Keep on shooting, and then tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon, the first scout for the NCAA tournament game, KD, we tried it your way Friday afternoon in Tampa. Now let's try it my way for the NCAA tournament.
And Auburn.
Did you get that feeling?
Yeah. And Auburn, and I get this feeling too from Auburn. Away from home, down the stretch of the season, I don't trust them at all. They're 5-4 in their last 9, and they won every single game on their home floor. I cannot.
How much you trust LSU anywhere?
Well, that's completely different. I think defensively I trust LSU. Offensively, I don't know where they're going to get it from at all. Tari Eason's pretty inconsistent. Darius Day is probably their most consistent guy, but he's a forward. You got to get him the ball. And that's how I feel about Auburn. You have to get Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler the ball. And all of the guards, every single guard, but maybe Jesper's the only one that's sort of pass first that doesn't need to put up a whole bunch of shots. But it feels like every single guard on Auburn's team is shot-heavy, volume-shooting type of guy.
And good for A&M. Of course, if they win the tournament, they get the automatic bid. Maybe if they just get to Sunday's finals. So they're a game away from that. Win tomorrow, they're in the finals on Sunday. And good for Buzz Williams with the very tight look.
I was going to say,
come on, Buzz, loosen a button.
Every time I see Buzz, I'm telling you, he looks like the bride's dad about to go cut a rug at the wedding reception. That's what he looks like. He's about to shake my cocktail, not stir it.
Yeah, and a good chance he splits his trousers.
Is he the only one now at this point?
And if he's commando, we got a really bad look.
Is he the only one going 3-piece suit at this point?
But well, really just 2, because there's no jacket inside. Does he go out there pregame in the jacket?
I would hope he has the jacket somewhere.
Then he's got the 3 going. He's got to have it somewhere.
Yeah, you can't. That look does not. I mean, I bet he walks onto the court with the jacket, takes it off, because he's a sweater for sure. He's got his towel with him.
The Razorbacks are pretty much in control of the game against LSU. So it'll be A&M and Arkansas tomorrow. And a friend of mine texted me, we just can't get away from A&M. Mm-hmm. Southwest Conference always comes back, rears its ugly head.
What this A&M win over Auburn does is really free it up for Kentucky, in my opinion. Really free it up for Kentucky. Kentucky should, in my opinion, be able to run through and win the SEC tournament. Obviously, you have to go through Tennessee or whoever they end up playing in the semifinal. Because they're playing Vandy today. I would be willing to bet Kentucky 100 times out of 100 in that game. But I like Kentucky of what's left in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I called Kentucky and Auburn in the finals. That will not happen. Kentucky still can, and that's what puts the SEC tournament in the chips, is Kentucky hanging around to last day with that fan base, and more will arrive. They'll get reinforcements for the weekend. Also out of the state of Florida, out of a radio station in Jacksonville, one of a lot of credibility. Our friend Brent Beard associated with it, 1010XL.
Right.
They had someone today report they think that Ole Miss will open and that Mike White will take that. For what that's worth, we'll see. But that's being reported out of 1010XL in Jacksonville.
Ole Miss opening and Florida coach Mike White taking that.
He played at Ole Miss. He was in Keith Carter's wedding. Keith was in his wedding.
Yeah.
They're besties. Really good person, good player. Was the point guard of the last Ole Miss team to win at Rupp.
Right.
Valentine's 1998. And he was the number one choice last time, and they couldn't extricate him from Florida.
When it comes to Florida right now, the situation he's in,
he might want a fresh place.
Yeah. He's got so much pressure on him too. There's so many people in his ear right now. So many people with the hashtag Fire Mike White on Twitter.
But that's just that's 1010XL Jacksonville reporting that. That's out there. I think our listeners needed to know. Brett Norsworthy here for FanDuel, the Players Championship. It's back with one of the best fields in golf. If we can ever get a weather break and play, and now you can take a shot at the Island Green with FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get 30-1 odds on defending champ Justin Thomas, two-time major winner Colin Morikawa, or Olympic gold medalist Xander Schauffele to make the cut at the Players, just to make the cut. Cut line might not be established until this time tomorrow. That's right. If any of those players make the cut at TPC Sawgrass, you win $150 on a simple $5 bet. I really like Will Zalatoris to do well this week at TPC Sawgrass, so put Will Zalatoris to finish in the top 20 as well. There's no better time to get in on the action with FanDuel Sportsbook than right now. Golf, tournament week, baseball coming up, so step up the tee and take a swing at betting the Players Championship. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app with promo code CASH to get 30-1 odds on JT, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Will Zalatoris to make the cut at the Players. Sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. FanDuel Sportsbook, official betting operator of the PGA Tour, must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only, must wager in designated offer market. Max bet $5. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the title sponsor of this hour, our friends at Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway, online at lexusofmemphis.com, and they have March Madness fever there, I can assure you. Give them a call for any inquiry at 901-362-8833. Great offers on all 2022 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design they make for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
That's the Tigers in Dickies playing against UCF. UCF barely pulled that thing out against USF.
I was for UCF.
Yeah, you did not want to take the chance of the Tigers possibly losing to USF. A loss to UCF, while you don't want it to happen, would be substantially less bad than a loss to USF.
The damaging factor of a USF loss.
Yes.
Although I don't know if enough's going on around the country.
I was going to say, I don't know if the Tigers
It's your top story. I'm sorry for stepping on you.
I don't know if the Tigers should be worried all that much at this moment. They beat UCF 88-60 last time they played. Granted, it was in FedEx Forum, but Johnny Dawkins met with the media, of course, the coach for UCF, and he said the biggest difference in the second meeting for the Tigers, which the Tigers won 88-60, was DeAndre Williams. And that's amazing to me because you go look at that box score, and DeAndre Williams, I believe it was his first game back, but he had 6 points, 4 fouls. Only played 17 minutes.
But he was everywhere.
But that's the truth of the matter. DeAndre Williams is the key in a lot of ways to unlock. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
The key to unlocking the Tigers' sort of energy.
The good kind
and
of
how
crazy.
they play. And it's clear how you beat
intensity.
UCF. It's clear how you beat UCF. You controlled Darren Green Jr. in the three-point line, and I thought the Tigers in the last game did that. Game 1 in Orlando, they did not. UCF's a very much guard-oriented team, and I think when it comes to their bigs, I think C.J. Walker's a good big, was a big recruit out of high school, obviously transferred there, I believe, from Louisville. But with DeAndre
Oregon.
and Jalen from Oregon. Sorry. I always get,
Oh, yeah. All those schools.
There we go. Oregon, Louisville. It is what it is. But I feel like C.J. Walker becomes an afterthought with DeAndre and Jalen on the floor at the same time. Now, the Tigers are in a lot of different sort of spaces when it comes to bracketology.
Well, they really are.
I've seen them as an 8,
Spanning
a 9,
the globe.
a 10, and 11. We'll talk about that more
But not in
later.
Dayton.
But
Isn't that
not
amazing?
in Dayton. And it doesn't seem like they're going to be put in a situation where they will be in Dayton. I guess a loss against UCF could put them in danger of that, but they're pretty safe at this moment.
Good stuff, Gabe. My top story, the Tigers and Penny, a far different view of them near and far today than at really any point previously in his tenure as head coach. Now completing the 4th year. Can you believe how quickly time flies? 4 years already gone by. They are taken seriously around the country. They are taking legitimately around the country. They've earned it. They did it by winning. No talk, no hype. They went to work. They started making free throws. They keep it going in Fort Worth. The profile will only grow, and that 8 today could pop up on that bracket on Sunday afternoon as a 7. I don't see any
Right.
way better than that. But a month ago, I didn't see all this happening.
We were looking at Barking Crow, NIT bracketology.
We were looking at Barking Crow and drinking Old Crow.
Also worth mentioning, reported by Jason Munns, who's going to join us today later at 5. Imani Bates won't be playing in the AAC tournament. That's not a surprise. I mean, we all knew that. I don't think he'll be
Didn't
playing.
we have the in-house bet of, I bet a month of lunches he never wears a Tiger uniform again?
Let's call it what it is. He's certainly
He's
done
gone.
for the year, probably done at Memphis altogether.
Hawk Harrelson.
Let's just call it
He's
what
gone.
it is. If he's back, I guess it's a positive. I guess that's okay. But
Yes.
let's just call it what it is.
Not top story of the day.
Not top story.
You
of the day.
still sign him, though.
What?
You still sign him. When the number 1, 2 player in the country wants to come to your place,
Oh,
you
yeah.
still
Of course.
sign him.
Of
It just
course.
didn't work.
It just didn't work out. It didn't work out. There's a lot of different reasons it didn't work out. Now, it
It's
still
kind of the
is-
Justice Winslow trade of the Tiger basketball program, isn't it?
It's You take your chance. You take
You
the
do.
flyer.
What do you got
can't.
to lose?
This MLB being back is still a top story. It's still a top story, but all of the things sort of coming out with it, we'll talk later in what's trending about exactly what the strides that the Players Association made in this new CBA agreement. But this from John Heyman yesterday, the Union Executive Board vote was 8-0, and these are some guys with some massive contracts.
$20 million up. Yes.
But they was 8-0 against the MLB's final proposal yesterday, whereas the teams and the representatives for each team voted 26-4 in favor of it. And it's very unusual that the general player population goes
Cardinals didn't
against
vote for it. Andrew
players'
Miller voted
leadership.
again.
Yes, it was Mets, Yankees, Astros, Cardinals. But this sort of shines light, in my opinion, on you talk about the owners and the players being far apart. The players are far apart. The players are pretty split. 26-12 isn't normal for CBAs. You're supposed to be pretty close to all on the same page, and that's split as it can be. And eyes have to turn at this point to Tony Clark. They have to turn to the MLBPA executive and who's supposed to get them on the same page. He should have them on the same page. He doesn't seem to. And I understand that when you're talking about those 8 subcommittee members, they're going to work in their best interest. They have massive contracts. They're going to work toward that. But at the same time,
They were ready to make a deal.
Tony Clark has to find a way to bring them a little closer together, because that's not how you should have a union. I know it's a strong union, but you can't have a divided union.
No, if it's that fractured, tells me they were ready to deal a few weeks ago.
It's interesting.
It is my not top story. Baseball playoff expansion to 12 teams. It's here, and it will not ever go down. It will only go up from here on. But it's here. 6 in each league. It's here for Major League Baseball. 4 teams in one division could make the playoffs. Last year, 4 teams in the American League East would have made the playoffs. The Toronto Blue Jays, managed by Toronto Blue Jays manager Charlie Montoyo, they would have been the fourth team from
Crickets
from the AL East to make it. A team with a losing record may make it. It happens. Happens in the NFL. We move right on when it happens in the NFL. Happens a lot in the NBA. 12 out of 30 in baseball now will make it. 14 out of 32 make it in the NFL, and 16 out of 30 in the NBA. In baseball, we want to have, as Joel Sherman said this morning on MLB Network, if we have a losing record make it, we want to have a ritual suicide in baseball. It happens. It's not. It'll be a one-off. It'll be an anomaly. Don't everybody freak out. The world won't be coming to an end the day it happens in baseball.
Brett, you didn't have to put us on the spot like that.
I'm sorry.
You did it on purpose, though. You planned.
New manager of the Oakland A's. Any guesses?
So planned.
Mark Kotsay. We got to get our managers down.
I remember Mark Kotsay when I went out there for a game in Oakland. I think it was he played for the A's.
He played for everybody.
Well, yeah, he played. Yeah, Mark Kotsay, outfielder. Right?
Charlie Montoyo. Love it. Yeah. Got to get our managers down to play the manager game all summer. Cardinals new manager.
I know this one.
This could get people.
Oh gosh,
Ollie Marmol.
Yeah,
Ollie Marmol.
Yeah, that's right.
No, not Red Shane Deans, not Whitey Herzog, not Tony La Russa.
He's young. He's real young.
Real young. Good luck. He's our guy.
That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Rundown for the day for our guest, as normal, 3:30. Alan Bell joins us. After this break, he'll join us to talk some gaming. He's from CBS Sportsline. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall joins us from the Gold Sheet. 5 o'clock, Jason Munns joins us from the CA to talk some Tigers as they face UCF tonight in the AAC tournament. AutoZone listener line 901-360-8255. Hit it up throughout the day. Text us. Let us know questions, comments, and concerns. Also watch us live and message us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and go to our website at sports56whbq.com. But coming up next, we bring on our good friend, Alan Bell.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Pete couldn't be here, so I'm stepping in to sell some Central Barbecue.
Wait, what?
I am NKOTB at CCB.
Huh?
It means I'm the new kid on the block.
I know what it means. Are you saying you're happy to do a Central Barbecue commercial?
Super psyched. I love Central Barbecue.
Well, we all love Central Barbecue, Pete included, but he doesn't seem to enjoy doing Central Barbecue commercials.
Well, I do. I'm Pete 2.0.
What is happening?
Maybe we could come up with a new jingle for Central Barbecue.
Well, we got to get Pete back. This just feels weird.
Central Barbecue, Central Barbecue, yeah.
Hi, everyone. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. It's conference championship week in college basketball, and FanDuel Sportsbook is an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can place their first college basketball bet risk-free, and if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. The app is so easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and sign up with promo code GASMAN to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. That's promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Well, Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number.
I was reading our rundown before we went to the break, and I did omit one person that is absolutely going to be joining us today.
Our man.
At 4:30, Drew Barrett will be joining us from
Ah,
ESPN
yes.
Arkansas, as he normally does on a Friday.
He's covering the Razorbacks, and there are people talking about Final Four for the Razorbacks.
The Hogs fighting like crazy.
They're up, 58-42 right now on
Yeah.
LSU. So we have Drew joining us. At
No
4:30
day off for them, and I think that is good to keep that stinger sharp. I'm seeing too many teams I think are kind of relaxing at the wrong time of year to relax.
No days off for our man Alan Bell, though. At Alan Bell 247 from CBS Sportsline. Alan, what's happening, man?
Hey, Alan.
Hey, what's up? What's up, boys? Yeah, you're right. No days off, baby. None at all.
None. You can't relax in the handicapping business, can you?
No, not at all, man. And you got to be up late night, early morning. Yeah, there's no sleep, baby.
I have to imagine also with the SEC tournament, I have to imagine with that Vanderbilt win last night over Alabama and today's A&M upset Auburn, there's probably some people losing some money out there, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I'll tell you what, though. Vanderbilt's been playing really good basketball about the last 30, 45 days. Yeah, Credit to Jerry Stackhouse, man. Like, they're 8-0 against the spread their last 8 games as an underdog. And they're winning a lot of these outright, man. Like, if anybody hadn't been paying attention to Vanderbilt, you need to do it. Like, they're a good, solid team. I'm not calling for them to upset Kentucky, but they're a good basketball team, man.
Yeah, they are. And Alan, a lot of these point spreads right now, and like we talked about last week, they used to be called write-in games. It's on the fly, but Vegas has a great handle on it. Don't think that you can catch them not ready.
Yeah, I tell you this. You just said there's no sleep. Them boys ain't sleeping out there either, baby. You can assure you that.
That algorithm machine works all night long, doesn't it?
yeah. It's plugged in 2 times. It ain't going out.
And the guy feeding the information, our gal, they've got MBAs from the Ivy League. This isn't just a group of sports fans.
No, it's not, man. Like it's impressive what these companies do, what these books, man. They acquire some
big money
talent for sure. Oh God, it's huge. Think about that. There's going to be in March Madness alone. There's going to be over $10 billion wagered.
I'll take the 10% juice from that.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
How about
$10 billion. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts.
That's pretty good. So obviously with that loss that Auburn took at A&M's hands, they have dropped to 5-4 in their last 9. Are you turned off of them sort of heading into the NCAA tournament?
I'm not turned off, but they're on the radar, right? Like them, Baylor, like these teams, they're good, solid basketball teams. These are the teams that are really going to screw up people's brackets, one way or the other, right? Like you might fade them, and these teams, both go to the Final Four, or you pick them to go to the Final Four, and they're bounced, in the second game, right? Like so, yeah. Like I'm not off of them, but you you better know what you're doing betting teams like this, man, because it's not going in the right direction. And you guys know, a lot of times, people say like there's no momentum in football, and part of that I do agree with. But basketball is definitely a momentum sport, man. So, pay attention to those teams for sure.
Confidence, seeing that ball go through the net, the other team having to get it out of the net. It matters, and you can go on that torrid stretch right now. We see it every year. We just don't know who it is right now, but it could be Texas A&M. It could be the Memphis Tigers.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I've got a bet down to the Memphis Tigers get to the Final Four. I would love to see them boys get down.
You got that ticket from when? I saw that on Twitter. When did you put that bet down?
Yeah, I got this back in August. It's about $2K for almost $20K. So I'm all
Go Tigers,
in.
go! You need to learn the fight song, Alan.
Oh yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
I can teach you it. I know. I have it off the top of my head.
Brian,
we
Gabe,
can recite it.
Yeah, we'll get you right.
One of the great fight songs of all time, too.
Don't suck up, Brad.
No, it is.
Oh, come on.
Hey, look, you got to have pride in your team, Gabe.
No, I have pride, but I feel like he's
when the Coliseum was rocking with the band in that eastern end zone,
So you mentioned Tigers' Final Four run. What futures are you really sort of keeping an eye on in college basketball?
It's tough, man, because you're really looking at Final Four, national championship, right? Like I'm not big on the conference tournaments to win those because really anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, like you've got really good value out there. Like you could find teams at really nice prices, and it doesn't have to be a Murray State, right? Like you don't have to cut your arm off trying to do this here, right? Like you could take a Texas Tech, a team like that. You could take in Iowa. Look at Iowa right now. They're covering over
112 yesterday.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like they are putting up crazy amounts of points, right? So I kind of pay attention to those. And the good thing is that you can use the book's numbers against them. So if you're taking 4 teams that are plus 800 or more, right? Like you put the same amount of money down on all of those on 4 of them. Well, now you got 4 teams and you profit either way if one of them gets there. So yeah, it's just using their numbers against them.
Are there any coaches you like riding this time of year or going against that they just want to win in advance? They're not that worried about being maybe a 6-7 point favorite?
Well, you know what? I used to get into that a lot, and now the game's kind of changed. Like, we don't have those guys, right? Like, Coach K, this is his last year. Roy Williams in North Carolina, don't be wrong, they're playing good basketball right now. But, it's not, enough for me to ride Roy Williams. Right, you look at Bill Self at Kansas again. They're really not out there. Like it's kind of these young cats, man, and these teams that are just what I look for is teams that are just really balanced. Right, like teams you don't have to play the best defense, just play good defense. You don't have to put up the most points, in the country, but put up points. Right, and teams that can score from their bench because again, these tournaments are going to be, you play on Thursday, play on Saturday. Right, like you've got to be able to go. And I'll tell you another thing, paying attention to these conference tournaments, I think it is teaching us something here, that teams that are playing their second game in a row, bet them. Like they are playing excellent. Mm-hmm. But when they get to that third game in a row, and you're generally playing a team that's pretty well rested, i.e. a Vanderbilt and Kentucky tonight, pay attention to that too, because there's a fine line between, our legs are good, they're rubber, we can run all day, and our starters they're out of juice, right? Like, and we don't have a bench, right? So pay attention to that second game, third game in a row. Yeah, there's some value to be found there.
And Auburn, potentially, they could sit until next Friday night before they play again. That's why I don't like the turning it off factor.
Yeah, it's that's another thing, right? Like paying attention to that, right? Like I think Kentucky and Tennessee will give us a little bit of a preview of them not having played since Saturday. Right, so it's like, okay, well, these teams, they've sat for 5 days, right? Like, how do they look going up against Vanderbilt and against Mississippi State, right? It's not going to give you, a pure answer across the board, but yeah, like I think that anybody paying attention, to that kind of scenario with Auburn, you get kind of a little mini one of that in these games tonight. So, just something to take note of a little bit.
Talking with Alan Bell at Alan Bell 247 from CBS Sportsline. So, in announcer news of the day, it looks like Joe Buck has decided he's going to move over to Monday Night Football. It looks like they're trying to get the Troy Aikman, Joe Buck thing going. I always said when they just had announced Troy Aikman was going to make the move. I had always said one of the two doesn't do it for me. Both of them does it. Does both of them going over to ESPN for Monday Night Football do it for you?
Oh yeah, I love it. Like, I know a lot of people out there, don't really like Joe Buck. I love him. I think
I
he's
do
good at
too.
what he does.
Me too.
Yeah, he's good.
I hate the criticism of him on Twitter.
It's usually the best. It's usually
he can say good morning and they freak out.
It's usually the best play-by-play guys and the best analysts that take the most heat.
It's true. You're 100% correct. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Look, I think Joe Buck does a great job. And look, ESPN knocked it out of the park too, because Joe Buck can do more than just football, right? Like, that dude is talented across the board.
Oh, that's a good point.
I thought it was smart for them. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
How about Joe Buck doing a Rose Bowl?
I know, right? I
don't even know if his dad ever did that.
No. I don't know what they do with Erin Andrews, because I don't think she's going back to ESPN, so she's got to buy herself over there. The fascinating part is this. Fox has the Super Bowl this year. Like, you've got to get your crew ready to go, and it has to be right the first time. You can't be messing around in November trying to get a Super Bowl crew here. So, yeah, man.
Give me Ian Eagle and Charles Davis now, right? They're CBS. They're CBS.
Yeah. We're not trying to lose those guys, but no, I mean, those guys are good. And look, Fox will knock it out of the park. I mean, there's so many talented people out there, to put this together. But it's tough, man. Like, as you guys were just saying, like, when you have a crew that is good together, like Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, keep them together.
Yep.
Because we've seen a lot of times, Monday Night Football included, where you could put people together who are all really good at what they do, but when you don't have any chemistry, it's like a center and a quarterback, right? Like, you could mess those snaps up really quickly. The other interesting part, and I'll quit babbling about it, is that ESPN has the Manning part too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they're kind of going head-to-head with this. That part's fascinating as well.
Alan, when is this Joe Buck move? Is this immediate, or will he? So I'm sure it will be. He won't do World Series this fall for Fox then, and he's been the only voice of the World Series since Fox has had the package back into the 90s.
You know what? That's a great point too. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, man. Like, it is that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are a big change. Joe Buck is especially, a big change in this. So I'm with you, man. Like,
I told Gabe before we came on, this is pulling an aircraft carrier into a small harbor to have Joe Buck leave Fox.
Oh yeah, because I mean, again, and kids out there listening, whatever you do at your job, when they ask you to try to do new things, pick new things up, do it. Yep. Because you become good at those things, and then you call the shots. You can do whatever you want because they have to have you. So I'm with you, man. Losing Joe Buck is a big, big deal.
And kind of full circle for the Buck family, kind of. His dad, for as popular and the powerhouse, the colossus that Dandy Don, Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, that they were on Monday Night Football, at that same time carving a niche cottage industry of followers and supporters. A lot of it was anti-Cosell. A lot of it was like me. It was past my bedtime, and I had to get in bed and turn the radio on. You had Jack Buck and Hank Stram doing the games on CBS radio through most of the late 70s and 80s. Jack Buck was the Monday night radio voice of Monday Night Football for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just the name alone, right? Like, both of those guys, right? Like, it's something when those guys go, because, not that Fox or anybody else, takes those guys for granted, but it's one of those things to where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, Aikman's leaving, whatever. Oh, that actually is a much bigger deal than you think that it is, right? And then you lose, the captain of the ship as well. It would be like back in the day if just the Patriots just lost Belichick and Brady together, and they went to your rival, right? Like, it's like, oh, God, like, this is actually a bigger deal than we thought that it would be.
Where are you at on all these quarterback moves? We have, obviously, not a move. Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay was not a move. But how about Russell Wilson to Denver, and then Carson Wentz to Washington?
Yeah, so, with the Packers, obviously, that was good, just getting him to stay, because you're going to get Devontae with that as well. And, now the conversation really is, what do you do with Jordan Love, right? So we'll see about that. Russell Wilson to Denver is fascinating. They traded away a lot of picks. They're going to need them. They need to build that offensive line for them, because that offensive line got destroyed there a little bit. But they're all right. Like, they're not a bad team. They're going to a super great division, though. That's what's tough, is that you got the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Raiders out there. But, I mean, I like the move. Like, I'm never going to hate on somebody acquiring Russell Wilson. Like, he's a much better quarterback than Drew Lock. So, well done on that. Washington getting Carson Wentz. Like, what I don't understand is trading assets for him and taking on the full contract. Yep. Indy would have given you Carson Wentz for free if you'd have just taken the contract, right? So I'm interested to see if he's going to restructure that thing or not. But, he's an upgrade from Tyler Heineke a little bit, but he was a bad locker room guy in Philly. He was not a great locker room guy in Indy. And Ron Rivera is a pretty, first-class stand-up guy. I don't know how long this thing lasts. They're not two similar individuals.
Right.
Like, they operate way differently, but it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. I can't hate on it.
At least he gets back to the NFC Beast. He sort of owns the NFC East. It's not hard to own the NFC East though, right now.
I know. You know what's funny? Somebody said it. They were a Washington fan, and they're like, "Man, like this is bad karma for making fun of Carson Wentz. Like now I have to pull for him." Like that part's fascinating for sure.
What are your favorite plays for the weekend?
Yeah. So we've got. Look, I'll say this: out of all these conference games, we've had 20 teams that won that scored 60 points or fewer, right? So I'm kind of on some unders tonight. I like the under 131 between Mississippi State and Tennessee. I also like Toledo minus 5.5 against Akron. I know that those two teams don't, really get, the electric factory going, but these are two good basketball teams. And Toledo, they're the second best team in the country in terms of against the spread. So yeah, those two, I'm riding those. Memphis, I like them against UCF. That number is jumped so high. I've kind of missed the value now at like 9.5 and 10. But they're a good parlay.
That number for Memphis, didn't it start at about 7? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it did. It has jumped. So it's like 7, love it, right? Now you're looking at it, you're like, well, I've missed all the value, so I'm not going to mess with it. But they're a good parlay team, to throw in. So if you're looking at like, a Kentucky money line and a Memphis money line, something like that, you can get paid through that.
Understood. Well, good luck this weekend, Alan. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, appreciate it, boys. Y'all be good. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
And follow his work and find some of the best plays, CBSSportsLine.com. Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we talk about Tigers UCF, and we get to our Tigers bankroll, where I am, guys, don't call it a comeback. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm not.
Don't call it a comeback.
You'd have to get the lead for it to be a comeback.
I've already passed Brett.
Well, that's good for you.
Hey. You better be
come
careful.
mess with the king.
You
mess with the king.
You better be careful over there.
Come on.
You better be careful over there, Brian. We'll be right back. Sports 56 98.5.
You have opinions?
The knowledge that I have matters.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Coming this spring at Southland Casino, all bets are on. Visit the Mid-South's largest and newest casino complex. Southland's shiny brand new gaming experience features 2,400 slot machines, 50 table games, a sportsbook area, and 8 new restaurants and bars, all on our casino floor, which spans 2.5 football fields long. Starting in April, gaming in the Mid-South will never be the same at Southland Casino. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help, call 800-522-4700.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me.
Got a couple of games going on right this second in the SEC tournament. Arkansas leads LSU 73-61. There's only 2 minutes left in that one. Looks like Arkansas.
Season sweep for the Razorbacks over LSU.
Look like they're going to put the final touches.
LSU talked a little stuff coming into that game too. Didn't back it up.
Yeah, but they're gonna move on, and it looks like they're going to end up playing A&M. Arkansas will. So
back to the Southwest Conference. Eddie Sutton versus Shelby Metcalf.
I know I mentioned Kentucky being
White.
my favorite to win the SEC tournament. Arkansas, that's favorable. Yeah. That's favorable, but A&M is playing well right this second. In the AAC tournament, we have 36-27 Tulane leading Temple. The second half just started there, though. Now,
Cincinnati won the first game down there today. Houston won the first game. Cincinnati was ahead for a long time in that game.
I'm telling you, I don't know how good Houston is this year. I do like them in a tournament setting. They'll probably be a 4 seed, something around there. I don't know how much I like them.
Tigers and UCF tonight,
8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Which will really be 8:30.
Yeah, Yeah. I don't know how that Tulsa SMU game's going to go. You would imagine if SMU wants to stay alive, they'd handle that pretty easily. But Tigers started as a 7-point favorite. Now they're a 9.5-point favorite. And last time they played UCF, they covered that number. There's no question about it. They absolutely smothered UCF in so many different ways. And that's when they got DeAndre back for the first time. That's when they got Landers back for the first time. And they played really well, won 88-60. The first time around in Orlando, they didn't look so hot, but they have split so far. This will be the tiebreaker.
The Tigers got well and salvaged the season and now can really make it into something special.
It's so crazy. It's jarring in a way to hear Johnny Dawkins say DeAndre Williams was the difference in that second game. Considering DeAndre Williams didn't even play a vital role in that game. Played 17 minutes because he was in foul trouble and he was a little too excited. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, something ridiculous like that. But it goes to show, though, the Tigers the past 2 years directly correlate. DeAndre Williams on the floor and wins. Those are directly correlated.
Yeah, we'll have Tulsa and SMU as well between the Tulane-Temple game before Tigers and UCF tip off tonight. So we're keying off 9.5. That's what we're calling the gaming line.
Yep, that's what we're calling
point spread. Bryant Dacus, leader in our season-long.
So that means he's got to lead. He's got to start, right?
That's exactly right.
No, I think the Mr. Comeback needs to come on back
You're
and
at
start it.
745. Gabe, you're at 600.
I'm in the middle. I'm second pick no matter what.
I'm at 515 after blowing it the last 3 games.
What'd you put on the last game?
Last game I went 200.
Oh, that'll do.
After a 400.
2 bones.
After a 20.
That'll do.
After a 50.
And
I ain't won a game in a
Bryant
while.
was not confident in that last game.
I was not.
You went Houston, but what?
Yeah.
$50? Something small.
Yeah, something small.
So
I will
tonight's-
never bet against Kelvin Sampson.
I'll be glad to go first.
Go first.
Okay. And then that means I'm second, Brian's last.
300 Tigers minus 9.5. Take them.
He's trying to make a comeback. So that would put you at what, 215?
That's the math. That's the math, Gabe.
I was told there'd
Bet
be
you
no
were
math.
a good math
You know,
student.
no, I was not. You're hilarious. I hit my head too many times to be a good math student. I'm going to go 200 on the Tigers.
I can make
Bryant-
up no ground on you then.
Bryant.
Well, 100.
Yeah, you can make 100. Bryant just sitting there. Oh, he doesn't know what he's going to do.
No, I know. I've known exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to do the math, how much money I want to put on. I'll go 100 Tulane. Or who are we playing tonight? UCF.
100 UCF.
I just wrote Tulane. Yeah. I think they come out flat tonight, I'll be honest.
You think they win, though? They just don't.
I think they win. I think, I mean, this is a game where I don't know how it's going to go. They could come out and blow UCF out by, 15. They could come out and look flat, look like they did against USF last week, and, win by 4.
If the Tigers win and cover, that means you lose. I
will.
gain 100 on you. I would be the new leader heading into tomorrow.
By $15.
I'll take it.
That's a leader.
I'll take it.
Brian would be last.
You know what they call the guy at
That's
graduation
fine. I'm
last
still
in
the
med
king.
school, don't you? Doctor. I'll take it.
Oh, Lord. This is coming down to the wire, guys. What does a winner get? Have we ever talked about that? Have we ever discussed?
Bragging rights through infinity.
That's not
Oh,
until next year. Until next
Well,
year.
that's kind of finite, isn't it?
Let's pick a MLB team and do all 162. What do you think?
Well, Brian and I
Yeah,
yesterday had an idea about
Oh, no.
I like this idea. Hear him out,
a
Gabe.
daily baseball
All right, let's hear it
bankroll.
out. Let's hear it out.
Start with 10 grand in our account.
Okay.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
One
It's
game,
a lot of math.
One game a show day. Nothing on the weekends.
I
Just
love it.
one game.
You pick it.
$25 minimum wage. You got to wager 25.
One game.
Yeah.
Just one game a day, no
A
matter.
day.
And
Give me the
who
Jays.
picks the games? You?
You can
Yeah,
pick
you
any
pick
game you like.
whatever one
Your
you
favorite
want.
game.
Okay.
I'll take the Jays tonight. You'll take the White Sox. Brett, he'll take the Cards. Always.
And we see who has the big stack of cash at the end.
Of hypothetical cash.
Yeah.
Who has the biggest stack of hypothetical cash?
Who's the king?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That'll do it for
None of it was really real, was it?
That'll do it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 is going to be a busy one. We started with Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet. 4:30, we bring on our good friend from ESPN Arkansas, Drew Barrett. But coming up next, get those games in. If you want us to ask about any certain game, hit us up at the AutoZone listener line, 901-360-8255, or message us on our social, Sports 56 WHBQ, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Coming up next, Bruce Marshall.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. When I talk to people about selling their homes or buying one, my motto is stick to your game plan. I learned this from my friend Coach Terry Tippett. Coach, you didn't go into a game without having a plan, did you?
No, Sheldon. Having a plan was critical to the success of all my teams.
That's right, Coach. Sticking to your game plan helped you win 4 state championships.
That's wrong, Sheldon. It was 6, just like the number of shots you make on a par 3.
Well, Coach, we've played golf together. What advice can you give me about my game?
You probably need to stick to real estate, as you're much better at doing that. Or perhaps bowling.
Great advice about real estate, not bowling. And as I always tell people, if they're thinking of selling their home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and let me be one of them. As they often say, when you want the job done, Coach, who should they call?
Sheldon, of course.
You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Get in the swing of things, grab your friends, your clients, your employees, and go enjoy everything you love about Topgolf in a luxury suite while at Memphis' only Topgolf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Topgolf Swing Suite is an immersive social experience offering guests a luxury private lounge to enjoy Erling Jensen's extraordinary food and beverage service, all while playing a selection of games in a one-of-a-kind simulation day. Topgolf Swing Suites are great for work outings, celebrations, or just getting together. It's fun for the whole family. It's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. They have more than just golf. They have soccer, baseball, zombie dodgeball, football, and more. Located at 5069 Sanderlin, adjacent to the Doubletree East Memphis. Check us out at swingsuitememphis.com or call us at 901-58-SWING. Again, that's 901-58-SWING at Memphis' only Topgolf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Book your suite today.
The global shortage on chicken is finally over, but there are still places that will tell you that it is hard to find, except for our good friends at Poultry Power. Poultry Power is currently delivering chicken in bulk to your home or business at prices lower than your local grocer or food distributor. Having a cookout or catering event? Tired of being told no by other food companies when you need chicken for your restaurant? Poultry Power can save the day. Visit www.poultrypower.org to place your order now. And remember, when others tell you no, Poultry Power has the power to tell you yes.
Oh, Jeff Allen, what's shaking over there at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah?
The walls are shaking because the deals are phenomenal on Mount Moriah. Check this out, Randy. You can take your pick from a 2022 Kia Soul LX or a 2022 Kia LXS. We got it for $199 for 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, what do you got in an SUV?
A Venture Ready over here with the 2022 Kia Sorento LX, $299 for 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
And every Gossett Kia comes equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah.
Or online, KiaMountMoriah.com. 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, sold in 7/18/2252, MSRP $20,960, Forte $80,461,574, MSRP $20,770, Sorrento $899,0199, MSRP $32,120, includes all rebates and incentives, $695 PF, must finance through Kia, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/4/2022 with approved credit, dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Yo, YBH.
I'm Gabe Kuhn. He's Brett Norsworthy. This is Sports Time, second hour of our show, brought to you by Big Green Egg. Now, we go ahead and bring on our good friend from the Gold Sheet, Bruce Marshall. Bruce, how are you? Where are you about in the world right now? Are you in Vegas?
I am in Vegas.
Good deal.
It's funny, and I don't get to the sports books too much anymore, but I'm out here. Jimmy Ott's up here from Baton Rouge. He says hello to you.
Oh, hello
guys.
to Jimmy Ott. Love Jimmy Ott.
Yeah, he's here with me watching at the Rampart, and I don't get out. I'll tell you, I don't go out to the sports books too much. Only when somebody comes in town, or I never go to the Strip unless somebody I know is coming down there and they want to go to dinner or whatever. But here I am at a sports book today watching these games.
I'll be there next weekend, by the way, if you're going to be around.
Gabe's headed out there next week. Bruce, two places if you live in New Orleans or in Vegas, every friend you ever had in your life finds you when they come to town, don't they?
That is so true, man.
I mean, but, hey, remember me from third grade? Well, not really, but you know.
That is so true.
Rob Fisher said when he lived in Vegas, every fourth grade best buddy from St. Louis, when they came to Vegas, they would see him. And I got a friend in New Orleans now that lives with that. With Jimmy Ott standing by you, tell me what the over and under on the Cubs will be this year. His team, the Chicago Cubs.
Well, I see him sitting there now. He's intent on this race at Aqueduct right now.
Who among us isn't?
Well, I'm glad we can at least talk about over
kidding,
and unders
Bruce.
in baseball now, too.
Right.
I'm really happy about that because I was worried for a while this thing may go too far.
What will it do with now the universal DH? What will that do to baseball totals, to baseball over and unders? They will have to go up, won't they?
Yeah, but I don't know that it's going to make that much of a difference, and I'll tell you why. You look at a National League game for the last decade, and it's been changing more every year.
With the parade of pitchers.
I don't think a pitcher. I mean, there are many games a pitcher won't get more than one at bat. It's a two. That's a normal game. So it's maybe two at bats per game. You got a pitcher because it's always you're running them in and out. You got a pinch hitter in there. So I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, and that's why what the Rays did a few years ago with the openers and all that, and bringing in different relievers. Some NL teams started to do that as well, and it's sort of like a revolving DH you have. You're using your whole bench and you're using guys. So I don't think it's going to make that much difference because, a little bit. And I think it's long overdue because every other level of baseball has been doing that for a while.
Around the world.
Yeah, I know the purists were thinking, we want to keep it like this. Well, nobody. Yeah, the minor leagues do it, the colleges, and down at DH is just here. That's just the way it is now. So I think it's about time and they will not go back. This is not experimental. Right. They will keep this. Yep.
And for me, it's hard to look past how this whole thing played out. Is it time at this point to look for different leadership outside of Rob Manfred and Tony Clark? Because I think those two, in a lot of ways, dropped the ball.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm all with, especially Manfred, and I don't think Clark's much better. But Manfred for sure. I think he's one of the worst commissioners, and there's a long list of those guys. But he is as bad as there is. He has no feel for anything. He's tampering with the fabric of the game. He doesn't mind tampering with the fabric of the game, and some of the new stuff talking about the pitch clock and all that. No, I had heard Adam Silver told him, Rob, you got this all wrong. You don't want the games to be shorter because there's in-game betting. Let the games go. This is the way it is now. And Silver's at the extreme, the other end. But I don't like, he's messed with the fabric of the game too much. The stuff with the relief pitchers and the visits to the mound and all that, this is all Manfred stuff. What he did with the All-Star game last year was abysmal. That was weak leadership. We've talked about this before. He didn't see it. He's just sort of he's a corporate, typical corporate, guy, and no foresight whatsoever. The only problem is I don't know who they'd replace him with. They might replace him with somebody just as bad. That's what bothers me.
And he's also so embarrassingly bad with PR situations. When he gets in front of a mic, you just know it's going to be a train wreck.
Cringeworthy.
Yeah, he's poor. He's about as far from the Pete Rozelle model as you can get for a commissioner. He really is.
He's a long way down the road from Bowie Kuhn.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, Bowie Kuhn did sort of set the bar low, that's for sure. But no, I rate Kuhn above Manfred even. And Kuhn was not any of our favorites, I don't think. But
was that a KUHN, by the way?
Exactly.
KUHN.
Your kinfolk.
Kinfolk.
Who would always wear his overcoat at the World Series games when it was about 70 degrees, wouldn't he, Bruce?
Well, when he didn't want to put the overcoat on and all that. I think that was 76 when they were playing him at night. It's kind of silly the way he was doing that. But by the way, we got UAB and Middle Tennessee. Looks like they're going to overtime. This is a great finish in the Conference USA down there in Frisco.
And with Conference USA, earlier in the day, there was a war. An absolute all-out defensive war between North Texas and Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech actually won that 42-36. Do you think North Texas is
42-36?
You think is there any at-large hopes for North Texas?
And let's check this. I bet you the CUSA championship game in football had more points scored than 78.
I agree.
Brian,
saw that.
Get on that.
I saw that score today, Gabe, and I was thinking, okay, that's a first-half score. And then North Texas plays these games pretty low scoring. I don't know, Gabe. They lost the game last weekend, too. I think they're probably going to NIT, and it's too bad. And North Texas would be a very tough foe.
Sure would be.
For a lot of teams. They beat Purdue last year. They played that slow down. We've talked about McCaslin before. They're on the bubble now, and they're probably at the edge of it. I feel kind of bad for the Bean Green. I'd like to see them in there, but I like to see CUSA get 2 bids, but I'm afraid they're in trouble.
Right. I like that kid from Louisiana Tech, though, Kenny Lofton. That's a heck of a good player.
Wes Unseld of Conference USA.
To Wesley Unseld of CUSA. Bruce, what are some trends before the brackets come out that you think our listeners need to know about, whether it's teams or seedings or pod sites, anything like that?
Oh, Brett, good question. But, I think every season is kind of different. And the stuff that we always talk about, the live seeds, the 11s and the 12s, 12-5, 11-6, I mean, some of those teams can all play. And I think that's a great seed to be. I mean, I would much rather have an 11 or 12 than an 8 or a 9, because, your second round, you're not going to be outmatched in your first round game, and you're going to miss the top seed in the second round. So that's why you see some of those 11 or 12s make a move every year. But each season is kind of a snowflake. It's its own deal. And the trends, usually team trends sort of endure. And so if a team has a trend in the regular season, it usually, and lots of times that's in the total side, how the game's pace, overs and unders, and that's where you get a lot of things that carry over from the season. But you just sort of handicap each game as you go, and it's hard to hold. I will say this about conference tournaments, though. We've seen this a lot. We saw with Auburn again this morning. A top seed in a big conference that knows it's going to the dance and has that large already wrapped up, playing an early game in the first round against a team with nothing to lose. That team, the favored team, is in trouble. And we saw it with Auburn. We saw it with Duke yesterday, didn't cover the point spread. Arizona didn't cover the point spread. Providence didn't cover the point spread yesterday. This is a tough spot. Now, you might think then, well, does that apply to Wisconsin tonight? No, because that game is at night, and there will be a packed house in Indianapolis. So this applies to the early games where there's not usually
got to bring your own momentum. Yeah.
But it won't apply to Wisconsin tonight, I don't think. But all these others, keep that in the back of your mind for next year when we get into championship week.
Bruce, you make a point, and I think it's one of your standard go-to theorems, and it's right. You talk about every game's kind of its own snowflake, and you always have said it is dynamic. Sports wagering is not static.
Yes, I mean, things, you've just got to follow it, and it, like I said, every game is kind of different, but sometimes these trends are not as hard to spot as some people think, and I hear these guys talking. Well, especially in Vegas, I hear it. They overanalyze these games to death. Sometimes all you really have to do is look at the results charts of teams. Look at how they're performing against the point spread. Look at how they're performing against the total. And within that, in basketball, I mean, a lot of these scores are sort of misleading, but that's the way you sort of look for patterns. And all you really have to do is look at the results instead of delving so much more into the stats. What they pay off on are the results. So focus on those.
Yeah.
And don't get so worried about the minutiae. I mean, most of the people in the sports book, they try to act like they have understanding of the game. They really don't. I mean, they talk about the stats and things. Just look at the results, and that's where you normally get the best clues.
So for your guys' bracketology, where do you sort of have the Memphis Tigers at this moment?
I think Memphis could move up to the 10 line if it wins the tournament. I think they're in because they beat Houston, which sort of surprised me last week. I think they're in. And I don't think they'll be in a play-in game either. I'd say they're looking probably at the 11 line. Mm-hmm. But if they should end up winning in Fort Worth, I think they get up to the 10. I'd rather be there. I wouldn't want to get any higher. I wouldn't want to be on the 9 line.
Right.
But I think they're probably at 10. Houston. Oh, by the way, Houston was another one. I don't know if they covered this point spread. If Cincinnati was a little better, they would have covered that because Houston came out very flat today.
I think Houston covered it by the hook. It was
Yeah,
12 and a half. I think they
point.
got to 13.
They got to 13, and they were very flat for most of that game. And then they just caught fire at the end because Cincinnati couldn't quite close the deal. But Houston will be there, and Memphis. The interesting one is SMU here because SMU has an at-large case. And just depending upon, this is why we got to watch this game coming up with Tulsa later today. It's interesting for them. SMU is not out of this thing either. There's a chance American gets 3. I'm thinking probably 2, though.
3? You think 2? So SMU left out.
Yeah, unless SMU wins the tournament, then you'll get 3. But otherwise, probably 2.
What's the most formidable SEC team heading into the bracket reveal Sunday afternoon?
Probably Kentucky because they've got more upside, although it's close. I don't know that I would want to face Arkansas in a game. And again, it depends on matchups and all that. Because Arkansas, but the pressure defense, and they have balance. And if they get hot, if Umude starts hitting threes, if Tony starts hitting threes, likes off the bench, I think Arkansas is very scary. But I say Kentucky because they've had a few games this year. The North Carolina game here in Vegas in December, the Tennessee game at Rupp Arena, and a couple of others. To me, they look like the best team in the country, and I think Oscar is going to be the player of the year. I have not seen a guy control a game rebounding and as ferocious on the blocks as this guy in many years. So there's nobody like him in college hoops. But, they have had some problems playing away from home. Arkansas scares me. One other thing on Arkansas, too. Jalen Williams is coming on. We've talked about him on this show before. He did it again today. He's everywhere. And for Arkansas right now, he's an unsung star. He's not quite at Oscar's level, but he is close, and that's another element you got to really watch on. And I think both those teams are more dangerous than Auburn in the dance. Although sometimes teams fade at the end of the year and they regenerate for the playoffs. Auburn, I don't know. I think they peaked about a month ago.
Long way to go for Arkansas and A&M to meet at Amalie Arena in Tampa. I can remember a lot of those games played at G. Raleigh White, which was a transformed National Guard armory on the campus at College Station, Bruce.
Oh, yeah. And that's Shelby Metcalf days. I mean, you're going way back to Sonny Parker and all that, yeah. But this is interesting here. And Buzz, I think Buzz is in the turn. I think Buzz is in. I mean, and I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, but I mean, he's got a win over Alabama now. He's got a win over Auburn. He's got 2 wins over Florida.
Is that 7 SEC teams, or is he ahead of someone? Does that knock Alabama out?
No, I mean, I think I think the teams that A&M are knocking out of those ones right on the bubble right now. I think that's just expanding the number of SEC teams there. Well, I think they probably knocked Florida out the other day, though, just because that was sort of a bubble eliminator. So I think Florida's probably not going to be there. But
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
But we'll see. But I think A&M's going to make it in, yeah.
Did we give Alabama and Nate Oates a little too much credit too early, or do you think that they could potentially make a run in the NCAA tournament?
Well, that's a good question, Gabe. And I guess we won't know until we get to April. But here's my thought on Alabama is this. And I stayed away from the Vanderbilt game last night. And I think I'm going to stay away from Alabama as long as it plays. Because they're too reliant on the threes. This is a high-risk offense. They can hit them, and they can beat anybody. Look at some of the teams they beat. Then again, they lost to Georgia. So how do you explain that? It's because there's reliance on the threes that can go south in a hurry. So they're sort of a radioactive team for me. I don't want to touch them because they're so high risk. I mean, the upside is there. They can beat anybody, as they have proven, but they can also lose to anybody. So we'll just see how it plays out with Alabama.
Bruce, I'm glad you brought up Sonny Parker. Last Friday on this show, we were talking about Mike Krzyzewski's last game at Cameron Indoor, and I took a poll of all of us, favorite Duke players. And Bryant Dacus, our producer, said Jabari Parker. And then I told him, I said, that I remember his dad well in the old Southwest Conference because he was really one of the transformational, revolutionary players. Except for Guy V at Houston, there wasn't a lot of black players in the Southwest Conference. It wasn't many black players in the South, and Sonny Parker came along, and he was something to see.
He was, and I'll tell you who else. And when Abe Lemons got to Texas, he accelerated it too.
He did, because he had some at Oklahoma City. He had some black players at OK City.
Oklahoma City. He brought some kids in that actually I played against in high school from L.A., like Ron Baxter, and they started to recruit these kids. But you think about it, in the old days, before the color line was broken, and how many players from that. This is why Houston got a step ahead down there, because Guy broke the color line way before a lot of the Southwest Conference teams did. But even then, I mean, there were some great players from that area. I mean, in the I think Dave Stallworth was from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, up to Wichita State. McCoy McLemore was from Texas. He went up to Drake. I mean, there's a lot of black players didn't stay home, and Guy changed that. But as before, they went to the Southwest Conference. But I think Guy Lewis is really the trailblazer in that region.
And Ken Trickey at ORU, with a lot of players from East Tennessee, from the Chattanooga area. They had Richard Fuqua and David Vaughn's dad, Big David Vaughn, I think more from the Nashville area. But they were having to really be displanted, go way outside from where they were from their upbringing, because those places were scared. Ray Mears was scared to sign them.
People forget how close Oral Roberts got to the Final Four in 1974.
Yep.
They got to an overtime against Kansas in the Midwest Regional, played on their own home court of getting to the Final Four. And they would have played Marquette in the Final Four had they won that game.
Al McGuire would recruit black players way before anybody else would. And now people just think it's so commonplace, but for Sonny Parker to have to do what he had to do, then have a son come through Duke, it's an amazing story. Bruce, this weekend and into next, a lot of stories will be written. These are great. This is one of the great sports times of the year, and we love to talk about historical aspects with you. You mentioned NC State. They don't win it a few weeks ago. You did. They don't win it in '83 without winning that automatic coming out of the ACC tournament.
Yeah, I mean the history of the Final Four and what NC State did twice. I think it's sadly forgotten by too many historians. They think the ACC is just Duke, and then Carolina. No, I mean NC State was a great story.
Lefty Driesell in Maryland.
Yeah, in Maryland, the 74 ACC tournament final. I've talked about writing a book about the ACC tournament, the old days. It was something else back. They were the only conference doing it for a long time, and the wars they used to have in the ACC tournament back when there was only one bid coming out of it.
That was it.
And some of the great teams that did not get out of that tournament. South Carolina, one of the reasons of a few that they left the league was Frank McGuire was so hated the fact that the 1970 team got lost that game to Norm Sloan in a slowdown game. They could not get to the Final Four, and that might have been the second best team in the country that year. There were other reasons why South Carolina left the ACC, but that was one of them.
The great David Thompson played, and he made it count. He won it all. Played in one NCAA tournament, and Norm Sloan sporting that red and white checkerboard jacket that looked like he had pulled it off the table covering with that red and white jacket he would wear.
Yes, he did, and that's right. He's a colorful guy. Speaking of David Thompson, one memory. I know you have this, Brett, and Gabe may too, but if he doesn't, go on YouTube to look at it. That fall he took against Pitt
and Billy Knight.
74. Billy Knight, the guy who took that shot was a guy named Keith Starr. And I went by Keith Starr's State Farm office in Henderson, Nevada this morning.
Like a good neighbor. Keith Starr there for Bruce Marshall.
There you go. And I know Keith Starr. He's like thrilled whenever I see him. We talk about Billy Knight and Pitt in that game. Keith Starr's the guy who actually took the shot when Thompson got undercut and he almost killed himself. Yep.
Sure did. Colossal fall. It was a great tournament and great time. And NC State had a starter on that 74 national championship team. I think still the only player to play to win a Final Four and win a World Series with Tim Stoddard. Is he still the only one?
That's the only one I can think of.
Me too.
Yeah.
Last couple of things. for Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet. As far as futures markets for college basketball, is there anything that you can find of value? And also, what do you like for this weekend and tonight?
Yes, futures. Everybody is downgrading the ACC. I say not so fast. Miami, which is playing Duke tonight, this lineup is older on many nights than the Oklahoma City Thunder's lineup. It is a very experienced team. Don't count them out. I know Notre Dame lost yesterday. I think Notre Dame is a tough matchup for a lot of teams. I like Mike Bray, the senior, Prentice Hubb, 4-year starter at point guard. Watch out for Notre Dame. If Virginia Tech should somehow get in there, they got some magic going right now. Watch out for Virginia Tech. I think they're going to make it in. Don't discount the ACC because everybody in the world seems to be discounting them. Having said that, tonight, do I like Virginia Tech, North Carolina? I don't know what to do with that game, but I might like Miami plus against Duke. And by the way, Coach K is spewing the spittle. He is mad. He's fuming. We saw how mad he was after the North Carolina game. He wasn't any happier after the Syracuse game. I think this team is rattled right now, and all this hype has bothered them. They're too young to handle all this stuff, and I think Krzyzewski's really mad at the whole situation. And also, so I think Miami can be tonight, and I think Providence actually gets Creighton because Creighton's without its point guard. They lost by 20 to Providence a couple weeks ago, and Creighton got its win it needed yesterday. Providence plays a lot of games close. But tonight, I think they're a very short favorite. I think they handle that short price against Creighton at MSG.
And Bruce, doesn't it just sort of seem like the last year final go out, it seems like more of a distraction than anything that could help a team for Coach K and Duke?
I totally agree. And think about a lot of the other coaches who went out kind of quietly. I mean, John Wooden, okay, he announced it 24 hours before his last game.
He kind of whispered on the way out, I'm done.
Yeah. Think about Roy in the offseason. Think about Dean Smith, the way he went out. That's why watch Jim Boeheim very carefully here. I'm not convinced he's coming back next year, but I am sure he wants no part of a testimonial season the way Coach K is.
Because nobody to give it to him.
Yeah, and I think and don't be surprised if he's already said we've got a successor plan in place. His boys aren't coming back. He may quietly exit stage left after this season. We will see.
Yeah, his comments about this being the best year ever that he ever coached. Bruce, 16 and 17.
Bruce, I knew of a young lady in Little Rock that was having a bridal shower, and there were five hostess of the bridal shower. The only people that showed were the hostesses. That's what it would be like at Boeheim's going away.
Yeah, you got that right.
Where do we find more of you, Bruce?
Thanks, Gabe. Check us out online, goldsheet.com. We're writing up all these games. And then next week, man, we got all sorts of games next week as the tournaments kick in. Not just the NC2A tournament, NIT, CBI. They got another one called the Basketball Classic, which is the old CIT rebranded, NBA. And then we got baseball in a couple weeks, so it's all coming.
Perfect. Appreciate it, Bruce.
Goldsheet.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks.
Have fun. Keep Jimmy Ott straight. If you need a bail bondsman, let me know.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you, Bruce.
Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet. We have to go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we bring on our good friend from ESPN Arkansas, Drew Barrett.
Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane bring you Sports 56 Grind Time. Brought to you by Poultry Power. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So we all know you can get everything you need at a grocery store, but why would you pay more for lesser quality meat? At Louis Deli and Meat Market in Arlington, you're not only going to see the quality in their meats, but you will literally taste the quality in every single bite. Plus, more than likely, pay less. And that's really important nowadays. Got to get together? Fire up that grill with their handmade garlic sausages or jalapeno and cheddar bratwurst. Or how about a hand-cut bacon wrap filet or top sirloin? The absolute best. Or if you want to know how to improve your outdoor grilling, pick up some of Louis' fresh ground beef or maybe their hand-cut ribeye or New York strip. Louis has literally everything for your grill, from barbecue rubs, sauces, charcoal, and so much more. And Louis Deli and Meat Market only carries the finest deli meats and 19 cheeses. And I guarantee you they make the best deli sandwiches in the area. So visit Louis Deli and Meat Market, located in Arlington at 11695 Highway 70, just fourth of a mile east of Highway 385. Is locally and veteran owned. Is Louis Deli and Meat Market. It's the quality you can see and taste.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
I'm with John Burgos in the alley at the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see you. How are things at the restaurant?
Brett, things in the restaurant are fine, but like all restaurateurs will tell you, things are still not back to normal. Supply chains are interrupted. One week we can't find charcoal. Another week we're short on ribs. Another week they can't find the plastic bottles to fill our sauce jars with. I've watched in awe as our fellow Memphis restaurateurs have worked their way through these past months.
John, always new and exciting things at the Rendezvous.
People know we have Greek salad, vegetarian red beans and rice, and vegetarian nachos. But now we have desserts. Miss Barbara of O Taste and See has individually wrapped some wonderful desserts. We have key lime pie, chess pie, chocolate chess pie, and pecan pie. Not pecan pie, pecan pie. We also have a new twist at the Rendezvous. We now have outdoor dining. It's in the side alley along the Rendezvous, not the one in the front. And depending on the weather and depending on staffing, please call ahead to make sure we're open. And we hope it becomes a mainstay here at the Rendezvous.
Mr. Charlie Burgos' world-famous Rendezvous in the alley in downtown Memphis.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios, grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers, everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Are you ready for the Gossett Mitsubishi Spring Sales Event? It's on at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Need 41 MPG highway with gas prices that keep soaring? We got you covered in 2022 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $189 a month or $14,999. 5 seats, 27 MPG combined. 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $299 a month or $23,037. Plus, redesigned 2022 Outlander with 7-passenger seating and 27 MPG combined. $359 a month or $26,998. And get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett got it at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 72 months, 500 military rebate, G4, NHF 03943, MSRP 16985, Sport, NU 006-786, MSRP 25407, Outlander NZO 6388, MSRP 292, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/28/22, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
So, just out about 10 minutes ago, this is from John Rothstein, obviously covers college basketball really close. Does a really good job. But East Carolina.
He's great.
East Carolina has apparently parted ways with Joe Dooley after 15-15 year and losing to Cincinnati in the first round of the AAC tournament. That was coming, though. That was something you could have expected. ECU has not been very relevant as of late. And also, they sort of had the losing Jaden Gardner was not a help. Having the transfer portal do what it did to them from last year to this year.
They've kind of tried it all, and nothing's worked.
And know what's crazy is football has been a struggle for them too.
And
where
used to have it right in
yeah,
football.
And football was never an issue for them. But let's go ahead and bring in our good friend. It looks like the Razorbacks have put the
They're
final
rolling.
finishing touches on their win against LSU 79-67. Drew Barrett joins us. Drew, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing well. Just enjoying the snow on
how about
over here in the River Valley. A little unexpected. Was only supposed to get some freezing rain, but ended up getting about 2 inches of snow here today.
Is it
so
sticking? Is it sticking? How's the temperature?
Yeah, it's sticking. It's only about 30. It's right at 32 degrees.
Okay.
I'm shocked it's sticking because it was 71 here yesterday, but
it's a good
plenty
number,
of
by the
snow
way.
on the ground. Roads are good, though. Roads are good, and just enjoying Arkansas basketball, being able to beat LSU 3 times in one season, which was a thing that a lot of people were so worried about today. They thought that this was a trap game, that this was a game that Arkansas was gonna lose because the old saying goes, it's hard to beat anybody 3 times in a season, but Arkansas was able to pull it off.
And it's really not. Statistically, it's not that hard. Do the Razorback fans, your interaction with them on y'all's station, your great shows that you work on, do they trust this team?
Yes and no. I think they trust Eric Musselman. I think they trust the team themselves. But, Brett, I thought that Memphis fans and, Ole Miss fans had battered fan syndrome. In Arkansas, it feels like every time something goes wrong, the sky is falling. I just don't feel like they can really buy in and truly believe that something's going to happen until it happens. They suffer from probably the worst case of battered fan syndrome I've ever seen. So it's a yes and a no.
How much of that for this year's team, maybe the lack of trust in this year's team, is maybe looking forward to what they have coming on campus next year?
I don't know if it has really that much to do with what's coming next year. I feel like it's a situation where you know what you have coming, you know what's coming, down the line with that top 5 recruiting class. And I wouldn't say that people are looking forward to it. I just think that they're, like I said, they just feel like they're set up to lose. They always just have this mentality of, well, yeah, we won today, but A&M beat Auburn, so A&M's hot, and it's hard to beat somebody twice in a season. I cannot tell you how many times I've read on Twitter in just the last 30 minutes of, well, A&M's hot, there goes the SEC tournament for the Hogs. Like, it is insane, the battered fan syndrome, and I know I keep saying it over here, because they just feel like things are going to fall apart, and when things work out, they can't believe it.
You know what made it so much worse? 3 guys under that pop-up in the College World Series against Oregon State.
Oh, yeah, trust me. I accidentally mentioned Oregon State in a college baseball segment about 2-3 weeks ago, and I got a earful of it from our listeners of how dare you do that to us, how dare you bring up those awful memories. I mean, it was bad because I remember that game. I was sitting there watching it at my house, and this is obviously back when I was living in Memphis, and I was texting a very good buddy of mine who lives in Pea Ridge, Arkansas, and I was like, 1 out away, here it comes, and he said, there it is, and then as soon as the ball dropped there on the first base side,
floodgates open.
He told me they were going to lose, and that's exactly what happened, because Arkansas, even though they've won national championships in football and in basketball, and continue to add the hardware in the all-important indoor track, they just feel like everything's stacked against them. And I don't know how to convince them that the world isn't coming to an end, the sky's not falling, that you can actually enjoy the good things that are ahead, because I always hear, yeah, but there's always a big but at the end of everything. They just feel like even winning today, that it's going to set up a bigger failure tomorrow.
They better enjoy it a lot more, because every fan can have that dose of battered fan syndrome. We laugh. I don't know if we joke that much about the Tigers and Mario Chalmers wrecking your youth, and I think you turned out pretty normally well adjusted, Drew. But who knows what else it could have been if it hadn't been for those moments.
That's true. I could have been a Rhodes Scholar. I could have gone on to cure cancer.
President of the United States, Congressman.
Look at you, Chalmers. Look what you did to Drew.
Books. Exactly. I could have. The world was my oyster, and then Mario Chalmers hit that shot. And
International Phoenix here.
In the SEC, what teams at this point in the year do you truly trust? I think Arkansas is one of those teams for me, believe it or not. Tennessee is sort of up and down for me. I like Kentucky. Certainly not Alabama. Auburn was there, but where are you at with the teams you can trust in the tournament from the SEC?
Well, I think as far as the point of getting out of the first weekend, I think you can trust Arkansas. I think that they showed today, especially with so much worry about Adis Toney and his ankle and on basically seeing where he was physically, because Musselman talked about this week of how, I think it was on Wednesday, how he hadn't even practiced, and then Thursday you see him at shoot-around without a boot, and then obviously he starts today, and not only starts but leads Arkansas in scoring with 22 points, so that makes you feel a lot better, because I know I told you all this about a month ago, that Arkansas really is that one turned ankle, that one just out for the weekend away from falling apart. And I think you saw that against Tennessee last Saturday. Without Adis Toney, it just messed up the chemistry. It messed everything up. So I would put, as long as Adis Toney and everybody else in that starting 5 plus your 2 or 3 that come off the bench can stay healthy, I put them in the second weekend category for sure. The only other team that I truly believe to make it there is Kentucky. I think that what Oscar Tshiebwe brings and company, and they I know, but I do have, when I fill out my silly little bracket on Monday, I'm going to have them at least in the Sweet 16.
I am too,
everybody
Drew.
else,
I got them in 8, no matter where they land.
I mean, everybody else, especially Auburn losing to A&M. Auburn has not looked good in the last month. I mean, at home or away.
5-4 in their last 9.
In a neutral site. Yeah. And of course, Bama, you can't really trust. LSU, maybe if they get the right matchup. Tennessee, I think can, but then how far do you let regular season Rick Barnes go, like in your bracket? So it's the only 2 teams I think I really feel good about right now putting pen and not lightly shaded pencil into paper would be Arkansas and Kentucky.
Did I quietly hear you bring up walking boot? Were y'all on walking boot watch with Adis Toney?
We have to be in sports.
Oh, walking boot watch. That's my favorite.
That's close to death, isn't it?
Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. I love walking boot.
How many walking boots on a Monday at a football building?
At least 25.
Yeah.
At least. Everybody turns an ankle.
Oh, Mr. Kuhn, we had breaking sounders every hour, every time we got a picture. Any update from Tampa, Ty is down there representing the station right now, and every time he joined the show, first thing is Adis in a boot. What's the latest? I had the ticker.
He has a walking boot on.
Underneath everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're in traction.
Said he felt like a creep taking a picture of everybody's feet.
How many Razorback fans in Tampa?
I'd say probably only about 300-400 from reports of what guys told us. Yeah, so not terrible for as
long
far
way.
As it is,
and they were just there for the bowl
definitely
game.
Not competing with Kentucky.
Yeah, and they were just there for the Outback Bowl, and look, $4 gasoline, people are being discriminating with their bucks.
Exactly, it'll get you.
Every time, Gabe was had a little sticker shot.
$91 on Monday, Drew. Oh,
woo!
I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, you got to get out of that SUV, man.
Hey, brother. Hey, I just got it, man. I can't get out of it yet. I just got it.
You got to get into the Nissan Life. My Nissan Sentra, 30.5 miles per gallon. Even added about 380 something around here.
See,
it only cost me $40 to fill up.
Taylor's got this Honda that gets like 40 miles to the gallon.
Won't run out of gas.
Yeah. It's got a tiny little tank. It's got a tiny little tank, but 40 to the gallon, I can deal with that.
Yeah, you got to be eco-friendly nowadays.
Drew, what pod site do you think most Razorback fans want to go to? Because none of them are real cozy.
Mm-hmm. Well, the easy answer is obviously Fort Worth.
Yeah, well, that one's cozy.
Going back there, that'd be the closest one. But unfortunately, with all the projections and different bracketologies, what you're looking at, probably looking at closer to Portland or Buffalo.
Ooh.
And I think a lot
That's
of
a
Razorback
punchline to a
fans
joke,
will,
isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of Razorback fans will see Portland or Buffalo pop up on the screen, and they'll say, well, let's wait and see if we can, or even Milwaukee. I think that one that's probably the closest, for some of them outside of Fort Worth, and maybe see if they get in Milwaukee. Let's wait till the second weekend. They'd be in Chicago after that, or
Milwaukee's a little bit
maybe
house of horrors for Razorback fans back to 1992 against Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers.
I did not know that. I will
yeah.
I'll be sure to bring that up on Monday if they get into Milwaukee.
That'll make you a lot of friends.
Just to mess with them a bit.
Yeah, I think Arkansas in the first round defeated Murray State, and Memphis defeated Pepperdine maybe, and then they met, and that was a rematch from a great regular season game that Tigers won 92-88 at the Pyramid, and everybody wanted that rematch with Memphis and Penny Hardaway, and he got them again.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I kind of really want somehow to where Arkansas and Memphis can line up just so I can be that hated guy. Brett, as the kids say, I can play the heel.
There you I love the heel.
The Jake Paul. The Jake Paul effect, right?
Exactly. I can't wait. I hope it happens.
And real quick, I do have to thank you for wearing all of your Orioles gear to your studio
Good stuff.
yesterday.
Great stuff. Inspired me to wear my Cardinal hat yesterday.
You were the one who brought baseball back, and I have to give you thanks for that.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the tip of the cap. I just thought if there's something I can do in my power to change this, to bring back the great sport that we all love, by golly, it is my duty as a red-blooded American to do it. And
you do realize on. You do realize that if we'd had the playoff format we're getting ready to have now, if we had it last year, the only team in the AL East that wouldn't have made the playoffs last year would have been your O's.
Oh, why'd you have to, Brett? You didn't have to do all that. We're thanking the guy for bringing back baseball. You know what, Drew? Thanks for bringing back baseball. We're going to say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye. We don't need to take shots at the O's.
Have a great weekend, Drew.
You have a good one, Drew.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm going to have a great weekend. My Gabe, my buddy Stringer, just pulled into town. We're about to go out and hit the nightlife of Fort Smith.
Remember, they can make it faster than you can drink it.
Yeah, exactly. That they can.
He's going to put that to the test. Drew, appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Drew.
Hey, you have a good one.
Our good friend, Drew Barrett, part of the family here, and it was so great for him to surprise us last week. See him, I know he was happy on Sunday with that big Tiger win, and he will be enjoying the Tigers in the AAC tournament and the NC tournament and covering all things Razorbacks. Gould Salon and Spa, they've been turning heads since 1932, and they've been doing it almost since the first day with that Gould's gift card. It is the best gift. It's the perfect size. It's the perfect color. It's the perfect holiday. It's the perfect just to say I love you, that Gould's gift card, it's the right gift at any time of the year. Go to GouldSalonSpa.com, and it's been a commitment to providing a unique fashion-forward experience since 1932. Mr. Sam Gould, he had a dream to provide his clientele with a truly professional and unique fashion experience, and it's been realized. Family affair, sons, grandsons, and those valuable associates to build it from a small hair salon to today's juggernaut. The upscale ambiance, the chic style that once was considered a Hollywood luxury, we get it, and we've gotten it here for 90 years in Memphis. And that Gould's gift card, it's the perfect gift. We're getting closer to the Easter time of the season, or Mother's Day, Father's Day, but really any time of year, that Gould's gift card, it's the perfect gift. GouldSalonSpa.com, exclusive to our area, and the best holiday gift for any season is the Gould's gift card. The best spa packages, salon products, and those gift cards are the hit at Gould Salons and Spa. My Gould style this week, it's this time of year. The tournaments, the brackets, the buzzer beaters, the heartbreak, the tears, the happy tears, the sad tears. You get it all over these next few days, games, weeks, and you will see a lot of people. As I said the other day, this is the time of year you got about one more loss left in you.
Mm-hmm. My Gould style, who's really showing some Gould style, Lester Quinones. Last night, Cassie Carlson from Action News 5 did a story on him, and he has created a personal brand called Effortless. It is a NIL deal. He sold shirts at a pop-up shop last week on South Main and made a fair amount of money, not life-changing money according to his agent at this moment, but enough money to sort of get him along and then help him in his ventures. But sold several shirts and honestly looked really, really cool. The shirts that he was selling, a lot of Tigers fans got down there and helped him out with it. So my Gold Style guy of the week, no question, is Lester Quinones. We come back. Bubble's getting crazy. Brett, Bubble is out of the. I mean, A&M's putting themselves in that conversation.
You're not getting scared for the Tigers, are you?
Oklahoma. No, I'm not scared for the Tigers, but I'm scared for some other people. SMU would be one you might need to be scared for, but Oklahoma's putting themselves in that conversation. We come back. We talk about the bubble when we come back.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
March Madness 2022 has arrived. What goes better together than hoops and a big screen TV? Hoops and good food. Sports 56 and Johnny Radio broadcasting live from Alex Farms Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Thursday, March 17th, 11 to 1 to kick off the big tournament. Join us for some amazing lunch specials. You can even put advance orders online to pick up for your own big game party. Made fresh daily, food is hot and ready to eat while supplies last. Signature Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad, beef brisket, pulled pork, loaded spuds, and many more selections for your tasting. Alex Farms Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad, located at 7164 Hacks Cross Road in Olive Branch. See Johnny Radio live and grab some of the best chicken salad in the entire tri-state area. Game and prizes will be given out, so make it your business to join us Thursday, March 17th, 11 to 1, Johnny Radio. Alex Farms Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad, 7164 Hacks Cross Road in Olive Branch, Mississippi.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
So, as far as scores are concerned, we have one final that went final when Drew was on with us. Tulane gets the win over Temple in the AAC tournament, 69-60. I already mentioned that Arkansas got the win over LSU, so they'll survive and advance. Going on right now, though, in Conference USA, we were talking to Bruce Marshall about it when he was on with us, but UAB and Middle Tennessee going to a third
What a wild
overtime.
game this has been.
82-82 at the end of the second OT, and they're heading into
What
a
a
third.
wild
Classic.
game.
And that's elimination.
Yep.
There's no bubble for those teams.
No, absolutely.
And you remember Jordan Walker from where'd he play? UCF a couple years ago, maybe? Tulane a couple years ago.
I believe so. Yeah.
He is unreal right now.
He's got 29.
29. I mean, he's the only guy. There are two big men. One of the backup big men, one of the starting big men, both fouled out. They're really in
If
foul
I remember
trouble.
right, he was solid.
He was a good player. He led the team in assists.
Okay.
Real good guard. Yeah.
And I thought he could score a little bit too.
Yeah.
That's Andy Kennedy at UAB.
Yeah.
Andy Kennedy. I think at some point he'll get another shot. We'll see, though. We'll see. He does seem to like it there at UAB. As far as the bubble, yesterday Creighton gets a win over Marquette, 74-63. I think both of those teams, Marquette certainly in, although when you look at the resume side by side, it seems like Creighton with their record should be in before Marquette. I think both those teams put themselves solidly in at this point. So Creighton, Marquette, all in. Oklahoma gets that win over Baylor, 72-67, and they shot the skin off. They shot the peel off the ball last night.
They've lost a lot of games.
I know, 11 for 21 from three though, but I would keep my eyes on them. If I'm on the bubble right now, they're in that next four out territory, but Porter Moser seems to have that team playing with some energy right this second. Here's the thing, they have some really bad losses on that resume, but they have a win against Florida, Arkansas, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Baylor.
And these are teams that impact a third AAC. Yep. Right now, we think the Tigers have no trouble, but the what ifs.
It's the SMU is what we're talking
Tigers
about.
were to get hammered tonight by UCF, or even a third loss to SMU by even a bigger margin tomorrow.
And I think Virginia, we can finally put that completely to bed with the loss they took last night to North Carolina.
Virginia Tech, right in the middle of things.
And I was going to get to that. Virginia Tech beats Notre Dame, and then tonight gets to play North Carolina. They could put themselves over the edge, put themselves into the tournament with that one.
And if anything mattered anymore, Virginia Tech winning should help the Tigers, but nothing matters anymore, especially anything in November.
Here's my question, too. When it comes to the Big Ten, and we keep doing this whole thing with Michigan, I'm annoyed with how many opportunities Michigan has gotten. But Indiana beat Illinois today. And Andre Curbelo from Illinois had a chance
Shouldn't
to go
Indiana
win that
be
game.
in over Michigan?
Indiana ought to be in. I don't really understand that. Beat Michigan, and they just beat Illinois in a row. Illinois was the number one seed in the Big Ten tournament.
Michigan gets a big pass for a groovy fight song and a really cool football helmet, don't they?
And something with them, it's almost like they were ranked to begin the year. People had these expectations.
Never
for
fell.
them. But, yeah, had these expectations
Never
for
fell
them,
out of the bracket.
And they want to keep putting them on that pedestal. And I don't think Michigan's a very good team. I like Dickinson. I like Hunter Dickinson. Great player.
Groovy fight song.
And he's I think Hunter Dickinson's done a good job, but they don't have any guards.
Cool football lid.
You've said those already. We know about those.
Yeah.
You like Jim Harbaugh?
Not bad. Been to the Super Bowl. Went to the football 4 last year, but this is basketball.
Yeah, but they have gotten every opportunity. But Indiana, after beating Illinois today, they got to be put in that conversation. They have to be getting a bid if we're talking about at-larges from the Big Ten. And the Big Ten, at this point, we're talking about 9 teams, 9 bids from the Big Ten.
It's everybody.
And no, it's crazy, Brett. I don't even think they're a good basketball conference this year. I don't see any team that actually puts a bunch of fear in me from that conference. It is what it is. That'll do it for hour number 2. We come back for hour number 3. We're going to start it with Jason Muntz from the CA on the Tigers Beat.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the next generation of drivers, where titanium ends and the carbon age begins. Introducing the new Stealth Carbonwood driver from TaylorMade, with 60 layers of carbon twist-based technology designed for better energy transfer and faster ball speeds. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, or shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
I'm with Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Shipping Kitchen. Pat, how are things downtown at the Shipping Kitchen?
Thanks, Brett. Wow, what a year it's been. 2020 threw a lot of changes at us. One of them was our great Memphis customers figured out how to ship our ribs all over the country.
Pat, we know you ship your ribs and shoulder all over the country. What are some of the other popular packages?
One of our most popular packages that's come out in the last year or two has been the barbecue nacho box. Well, our nacho box is an all-Memphis box. It includes our pork shoulder. It includes our friends at Poncho's cheese dip. Also includes Brim's chips, Felicia Suzanne's peppers, a bottle of our barbecue sauce, a bottle of our famous seasoning, some reheating tips, wet naps, cook hats, and you can even throw in a box of Dinstall's Cashew Crunch for the sweet tooth.
And Pat, this ships overnight just like the rest.
Brett, it sure does.
Where do we order this great food?
You can get these boxes by visiting our website. Go to www.hogsfly.com.
In the Alley in Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis since 1948.
Yes, it's still winter. Yes, it's still cold outside. But Family Leisure wants you to start thinking towards spring and maybe even summer. So Family Leisure's pool and patio sale is happening right now. Come to Family Leisure to get started on your outdoor living space. Yes, I know it's cold and dreary outside, but this is the perfect time to think ahead. Pools are in stock and ready to go. Brand new 2022 patio furniture is hitting the floor each and every day. In-stock hot tubs are ready for delivery. You can get fantastic deals on play gyms, trampolines, grills, and outdoor kitchens. I know you are already looking forward to spring and summer, and so does Family Leisure. But if you sit on the couch too long, the best deals will be gone. So don't wait until it's too late. Stop thinking about spring and summer. Start planning for it. The pool and patio sale is in season right now. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's Whitten at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
What's happening Mid-South? Are you ready for a new ride from Gossett Kia on the Pike? We got it covered. Take your pick, 2022 Kia Soul LX or 2022 Kia Forte LSX. We got it at $199 for 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And let your adventure begin in 2022 Kia Sorento LX. $299 for 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You got to make your move today to Gossett Kia on the Pike. Come see Bobby J. He'd love to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Sold in 7/18/2252. MSRP $20,960. Forte NE $461,574. MSRP $20,770. Sorrento $899,199. MSRP $32,120. Includes all rebates and incentives. $695 PF. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and licensee. Dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/4/2022 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Final hour of a fun, busy week. Love Conference Championship week into the tournament next week, and it's Conference Championship week. We're winding down into it in college basketball and FanDuel Sportsbook. They have an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can place their first college basketball bet risk-free, and if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. I love the Tigers tonight. I like the Tigers the rest of this weekend. Have that FanDuel app ready. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a slam dunk. The app is so easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. The same game parlay, the live action betting, the big promotions. But tonight and into the weekend, I like the Memphis Tigers. We went over that earlier. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code CASH to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older. And present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal on the Tigers beat will be with us after I tell you about the title sponsor of this hour, and that's DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road. Online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. They are very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars test-driven, thoroughly examined, checked out from bumper to bumper, head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. No shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales. You'll be treated like a member of the family. Kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, down-home environment, and they care about your time. And they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. They know we live in a world today that time really matters, hectic pace these days. That's why they keep it simple. Find the car you want, credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're out of there in 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales. Come on down to 5704 Goodman Road. Go online, DeSotoAutoSales.com, and check out all the beautiful cars. But head down to Goodman Road for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
He's Jason Munns from the CEA covering the Tigers. Jason, how's Fort Worth treating you?
It is cold. Very cold. I mean, like, we were all good. We were golden yesterday when we got here, and then going to lunch today was just brutal. Windy and cold.
We're going to get the
blowing
snow
through
later here.
We got snow at bedtime tonight. I'm going to leave FedEx Forum at the Grizzlies game with a Iditarod team, it sounds like.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't be complaining because I've been talking to my wife, and she's been keeping me updated with everything that's headed that way. So, yeah, y'all be safe.
Have Tiger fans headed that way? Do you see a Tigers presence in Fort Worth?
I rode over here yesterday with our photographer, Joe Rondoni. I don't know if you saw it, but I let Joe handle the rental car situation, and we wound up trucking over here in like an Amazon Prime cargo van type of situation. I don't know. It was. I mean, like
a little Sprinter van. People are probably scared of you guys.
I'm game for it, but it's different. It is different. Like when I'm sitting in the passenger seat trying to type up a story yesterday, and like the shocks on this thing were not making it easy.
I bet it's roomy though, right? You got some room in there. Just stretch out.
It is, but I can't tell you how many typos were probably in that story. But no, yeah, like the point. Going back to your point, yeah, like on our way over here, we stopped at a gas station somewhere, don't even know where, and there were a couple of Memphis fans who were on their way over here. So yeah, they're definitely here and ready for the game.
And the Tigers could be going back to that pod site next weekend.
Please let's not let that happen. I don't have anything against Fort Worth, but like I've never been to San Diego. I've never been to I don't know,
Portland, Buffalo.
Yeah. No, I've been to Portland. I've never been to Buffalo. I have been to Milwaukee, and I'd like to go back. Nothing against Fort Worth, but like
you've had a lot of time there.
Little diversification here. Let's diversify.
So at the beginning of the week, you posted sort of a press clip from Penny Hardaway about his vent session from that the famous SMU game at home and what he said afterward. What was the tone with that? How did he feel about that? Sort of looking back.
I think he. I mean, I don't know how in the weeds we want to get on this, but like, I think everybody knows by now. Jeff Calkins has talked about it enough. Himself that he was the one who asked the question back after the SMU game that got Penny so hot under the collar, and Jeff was at the press availability earlier this week, and he kind of was like, like let's revisit it a little bit. It was, he was kind of asking him about, to look back on it now that there's been some time and they've won 10 out of 11 since then. And, Penny was fine to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was, I've bounced this off a couple of people and they agree with me that he was as introspective that day earlier this week with local media as he's ever been, I think, since he became coach at Memphis, or at least in the last, couple of seasons, 2-3 seasons. He just was very candid and talked about how he felt like he failed the team last year. He said, I thought we had a Sweet 16 type of team and we didn't get it done. And so I felt like I failed and I put a lot of pressure on myself. Because of that, going into this season when it wasn't going well, I was frustrated. And, that was, it was good. It was refreshing to get his point of view on just everything as a whole now that the regular season is over.
Where do you think the biggest area of coaching growth for Coach Hardaway from opening night this year to now, where do you think it's been from?
I would like to say that probably the biggest thing just overall, and I don't know if this is necessarily like coaching, has to do strictly with coaching, but his ability to admit publicly when he's like to publicly second guess himself. There was the article that came out in The Athletic, I think about a month ago or so, when he told the writer for The Athletic that he probably shouldn't have handled things the way that he did earlier this season, throwing the veterans under the bus.
Well, confession's good for the soul, Jason.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like that was his, like, that's probably the biggest thing that the biggest sign of growth just in him personally and professionally, but like from a strictly X's and O's standpoint, it's shortening the rotation. I mean, like, you know, we can talk about how he's gotten back to the frenetic, in your face, intense defensive style that, you know, wasn't exactly there in the first half of the season, or not as much anyway. We can talk about, you know, how he's gotten back to that. We can talk about how, you know, we can talk about some other things, but like at the end of the day, the most obvious thing that has helped this team besides getting healthy is Penny's decision to not play everybody on his bench like significant minutes every
courtesy
night.
minutes.
Exactly. No sympathy minutes, I believe, is what he is the way he phrased it in an interview in the last couple of weeks, and that's good.
And something that's been interesting is to see how they've passed and how they've run offense down the stretch. They've been way more crisp. They've assisted a whole lot more. Even when other teams try to get into zones, they know how to beat it. Is there anything to attribute that to that they're doing in practice that they have mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you ask them and they'll say that simply just having everybody healthy and on the floor, and at this point knowing that Penny is not going to, they're not constantly looking over their shoulders, so they can concentrate more on developing chemistry and relaxing and playing through mistakes rather than, you know, being afraid to make mistakes. And I think, you know, but again, everybody being healthy, it's giving them, they're finally all together and developing, you know, strong rapport and all that kind of stuff. And I think that
winning helps that rapport, doesn't it?
It does.
It does, yeah. Like when you do things and they work,
it's the best chemistry ever.
Positive reinforcement, yeah.
Only the late '70s Yankees won and still hated each other.
Right, yeah. There's always an exception to every rule, but no, it's like I said, positive reinforcement can do wonders.
What do you think of their chances to win the AAC tournament? And if they were to run through it and win the whole thing, what do you think that does for their seed line?
Well, I don't want to say it's 100%. I mean, I did predict in a story I think it posted yesterday that they would win it, but I think that was coming more from a standpoint of I think they're the favorite. I think that they should be considered the favorite. What it does for seeding, I mean, that's really the kind of the $1 million question right now. Like you go on bracket matrix, and you know, based on the 125 brackets that they are tracking, you know, Memphis is in every one of them, and on average, they're like at like 9.25 seed. Like, you know, the way they do their formula, I guess Memphis would be like the second 9 seed right now. I know Joe Lunardi's got them as an 8. I think they're somewhere in between 8 and 10, and you know, I lean more toward the 9 area. So if they go out, I mean, you know, it depends. Do they play Tulsa tomorrow? Do they play SMU? More than likely it's going to be SMU. But we thought that more than likely they were going to see Houston again, and that almost didn't happen. Cincinnati was, you know, giving Houston everything they wanted for a half, and so, you know, nothing's given. Tulsa could run up and beat SMU tonight, but if they play SMU and they beat SMU tomorrow, and then they play Houston on Sunday and beat them, you've got to think that if they're like a 9-10, that they could get up to an 8 at least, potentially, you know, very potentially a 7. You know, and obviously you'd rather be a 7 than an 8 or a 9. So I think that's my best guess, is that you're looking at 7-8 territory if you win out, if you go and win this tournament. But, you know, as we know, it doesn't always depend on just what you do, and you got to see how things shake out. I mean, just look at today with Indiana beating Illinois. I mean, how does that change their seeding, and what's the domino effect and all that stuff? So still a lot of variables out there.
Jason, don't you suspect that they want, of course they want to win tonight, but they want SMU tomorrow and they want Houston in the final Sunday?
Yeah, that's best case. That would give you 2 more quad 1 opportunities. I know, like Selection Sunday is 2 days from now. So, we can talk about Memphis improving their net ranking. We can talk about adding quad 1 wins, but by and large,
it's been done.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Cake's
you're really playing for seeding at this point. And so, but yeah, no, that's definitely. And Penny's been saying it ever since, or he said it right after they lost at SMU a few weeks ago. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of we hope we get to see them again. Talking about SMU, and so that kind of gives you a little bit of insight into how long they've been licking their chops for a chance to play SMU again. So yeah, there's no doubt that they want SMU, and you definitely want to see Houston in the final, given not only the fact that it would be another quad 1 opportunity, but also you've had real success against them this season, and you'd really like your chances at that point.
Now, Jason, did the team and you, for that matter, if you don't mind answering, did you and they pack to come back home or stay out on the road, because the Tigers still potentially could be turning around and going to Dayton late Monday afternoon?
Yeah, that is true. So, and I don't mind you asking, I did not pack for that possibility, but the way I looked at it, I did consider it. Like it certainly was part of my thought process when I was packing. And so what I settled on was, I feel pretty confident that no matter what happens, if they end up in Dayton, I can find a laundromat or a hotel washing machine somewhere, and that would be the workaround. But I believe that they're not gonna have to go to Dayton.
Talking with Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal at Munsley on Twitter. You reported yesterday Amani Bates won't play in the AAC tournament. How fair do you think it is to assume that also would keep him out of anything past that?
I think it's very fair. It's just for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the stakes are very high, and if you're Penny, you don't want to mess with the chemistry that we've been talking about. You add him into it, and whether he goes out and scores 15, 20 a night, that's gonna it's gonna be a change of pace when you don't need one, when you don't want one,
and no distractions. Let's don't rock the boat.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't, I'm just not sold on the fact that Imani and or his camp is motivated to get him back on the floor this season. I exchanged text messages with his father in the last couple of days, and he said his exact wording was, Imani's going to make sure he's 100% healthy before he does anything, which says to me that,
we're out.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like anybody's, there's no indication that he's like getting close. So I feel like if he was, somebody would tip us off to the fact that he was inching closer to, but I haven't heard anything like that, and I don't know anybody who has. And so, yeah, I think that chapter, what happens after this season is over into next season, as far as he's concerned, that's a story for another day. But I think
we can make strong. I feel like there's a lot of people, and I think we can make relatively safe assumptions about what that could be, though.
Yeah.
The way it has gone, it's just it's spiraled to this point where it doesn't seem like this thing worked out. And yes, it was always going to be worth a try. You get a top 5 guy, you get a top guy, you're going to take that opportunity. But it just wasn't a good fit, wasn't a good relationship from start to finish, it feels.
Yeah, and I mean, in the end, if you're a Memphis fan, if you're part of the Memphis program, Memphis supporter, whatever, you just got to be, obviously, given the way things have played out, you look back and you just got to be thankful that the timing was what it was, that it didn't happen too late.
For sure. Because the hour was getting late.
Oh, it was. It absolutely was. And I still point back to that Tulsa game when
huge.
Memphis was down, I think, by like 17 in the second half.
Would have been 9-9 after that game if they had lost. 9-9.
With another quad three, at least quad three loss.
Yeah, too much damage.
Yeah, so it's if it was me, I'd be just looking for the silver lining that the timing that it wasn't too late.
Yep. He is Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal at Munsley on Twitter. Jason, appreciate it, man. Enjoy yourself.
Jason, thank you. And if by some chance the CA gives you a change of play at the line of scrimmage, we got a good delivery system here. We can FedEx you socks and underwear if you need it.
I will remember that. I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, man. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right.
You got it.
Yeah, the Amani Bates situation just feels so done. And honestly,
it's a shame
for
every party.
And these past few weeks, in a lot of ways, Brett, I think a lot of fans and media, it's been at the back of the mind. It hadn't even been thought about.
I went back and looked at the box score from the Ole Miss game. I mean, seeing how the Ole Miss season ended, I thought, how in the world did Ole Miss beat them? Too many shots from him, 2 points from Jalen Duren. 2.
Mm-hmm. And that was really Jalen Duren's first opportunity against the experienced big. And I don't think Nasir Brooks is a world beater by any stretch, but it was one of those games. And Jalen Duren, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought he had some foul trouble in that game.
He did.
Well.
A lot of foul trouble that day. And we've talked about what turned around the year, the full recognition of move on from Amani and throw it in the low post.
Yes, and give Lester and Landers the defined roles they expected coming into the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I don't
players want that clarification.
And I don't hear that discussed all that much, but especially these past 5-6 games, Landers Nolly has been
knows his
your
role.
Best creator off the bounce. He's been your best shooter, and he knows his role. It's defined for him now.
And he did do it down the stretch last year. All the basketball this weekend into next week. 2 great locations. The new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, to get ready for this month of madness. This month, every month should be barbecue madness. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs, so good. Authentic Memphis-style, great food. That means the slow way at the commissary. Next week, the weather looks like we can get outside on the patio at Houston, Levy, and Poplar. Maybe not tonight for the Grizzlies game or even Sunday afternoon for Tigers-Grizzlies, but next week looking very promising. Start that barbecue feast with the great appetizers like the cheese plate or the nachos or the tamales, the smoked chicken wings. All so good. That just gets you started. That's the tip-off. If you're craving an easier way to order, text the commissary, 2 M's, 2 S's, to 33733. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled, on the plate, on the sandwich, all the sides, all the fixings, so good. Beans, deviled eggs, slaw bread, and the party packs, 6-pack, 8-pack, 12-pack. That'll get you through this month of hoops and month of great food that we've come to know, love, appreciate, and always able to enjoy through all the years at either commissary. The new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar are the original, the mainstay since the early 80s in Germantown. Have that self-discipline and save room for dessert, or get it to go. If you blow the discipline, you can have it later, like the lemon icebox pie or the terrific banana pudding. 754-5540, 901-754-5540, online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. Walker Taylor will be pulling hard for the Tigers this weekend, and you can go to either place, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, for a great time.
Got about 30 minutes left in the show. When we come back, we break down the Tigers, where they're at, and a lot of the bracketology, and we talk about the Grizzlies. Grizzlies in action, and don't forget about it. They're playing the Knicks. You're listening to Sports Time with Gabe and Stats.
The all-new Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Brought to you by Action 24/7, James Gaddis Jewelers, and Acura of Memphis. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
March Madness 2022 has arrived. What goes better together than hoops and a big screen TV? Hoops and good food. Sports 56 and Johnny Radio broadcasting live from Alex Farms Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Thursday, March 17th, 11 to 1 to kick off the big tournament. Join us for some amazing lunch specials. You can even put advance orders online to pick up for your own big game party. Made fresh daily. Food is hot and ready to eat while supplies last. Signature Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad, beef brisket, pulled pork, loaded spuds, and many more selections for your tasting. Alex Farms Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad, located at 7164 Hacks Cross Road in Olive Branch. See Johnny Radio live and grab some of the best chicken salad in the entire tri-state area. Game and prizes will be given out, so make it your business to join us Thursday, March 17th, 11 to 1, Johnny Radio. Alex Farms Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad, 7164 Hacks Cross Road in Olive Branch, Mississippi.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now he speaks Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Are you ready for the Gossett Mitsubishi Spring Sales Event? It's on at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Need 41 MPG Highway with gas prices that keep soaring? We got you covered in 2022 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $189 a month or $14,999. 5 seats, 27 MPG combined. 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. $299 a month or $23,037. Plus, redesigned 2022 Outlander with 7-passenger seating and 27 MPG combined. $359 a month or $26,998. And get our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett got it at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 72 months, 500 military rebate, G4, NHF 03943, MSRP 16985, Sport, NUOO 6786, MSRP 25407, Outlander NZO 6388, MSRP 292, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/28/22, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
Last 30 minutes of the week on Sports Time on Sports 56. I'm Gabe. He's Stats. He's Brett Stats North with you. Autos on listen line 901-360-8255. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Have a couple.
He's Bryant.
Yeah, he's Bryant. Hello, Bryant.
Hey to everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Bryant.
Took me a little bit.
You had the big sweat on UAB, didn't you?
Let me tell you something.
We saw you crying.
What a game.
We weren't laughing.
It's halfway.
We were commiserating.
It's
That's okay.
It's halfway distracting though. Trying to talk while you're over there.
Hey,
just
I mean,
pulling your hair out. Your hair's a
what
little bit
I mean,
wild right now.
they were down by like 6 or 7.
That's why
and
they call
then
it gambling.
Jordan Walker,
They
what a
don't call it
game.
winning.
What a
They don't call it
performance.
winning.
I mean, that's the game of March right
Man, it'd be
there.
so much more fun if you could win all the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Ugh.
If you had an undefeated record.
Yeah, never
I'd have
rich,
less
too.
white
you'd probably
hairs.
be pretty rich.
Yeah.
Wait, white hairs.
Oh, I have a lot of white hairs.
There's a reason why right now at the casinos they're giving away steak and lobster
That's true.
Yeah.
We've already hashed out Tigers play.
and complimentary golf.
Tigers play UCF tonight, 8 p.m. late in Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. I have a couple of texts here. Somebody says, we're at another pinnacle in Tiger basketball story this year. They need to do well in the AAC tournament to get a good seed in the NCAA. If they don't, they should be a 10 or 11 seed. I think
It's pretty reasonable.
That's pretty fair.
What's the Tiger fan being so reasonable for? This is the time of year you're talking about cutting the nets down. That's way too reasonable for late Friday afternoon.
Somebody else says at this point,
That's a good text.
I don't
Thank you.
worry about the performance of Duran, Minot, or Williams. It's Harris, Nolly, and Quinones I'll be watching. And that's, again, me and you
I'm
always.
not sweating Nolly and Quinones. I do.
Well,
and if Tyler Harris is hot, leave him in. If he's not, quit shooting.
There's some inconsistencies
Your
there.
defensive liability, you got to come out if you're not making buckets.
I'm worried about Alex Lomax too. I'm always worried about Alex
Very
Lomax, making sure that he does not turn the ball over and he looks to pass.
Let me declare right now, and I'll repeat it next week, my two biggest concerns the rest of the way, point guard play and Coach Hardaway's experience this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one way to get it.
But to the point that our texter's making, guard play. That's what I feel like a lot of people, when you get to this time of year, you get to the NCAA tournament, that's what you should be worried about is guard play. That's what gets you over the hump. I like the Tigers front court.
To come back to that experience thing, Rick Barnes has got a lot of experience. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, you also have to take into consideration good experience versus bad experience.
Scar tissue.
Yes, but scar tissue is good in a lot of ways. But if you have the type of scar tissue that
it weights you down,
yeah, I don't know. Rick Barnes has sort of shown us who he is, though. I mean, is that fair to say?
Sean Miller had experience, but Arizona always found a way to kind of go out ugly.
Now, Tigers.
Now they're depending on the new coach.
We on this show, for the most part, we follow 4 bracketology sites for the most part. We follow our guy, bracket guy Dave at Bracketville, Joe Lenardi. We follow Jerry Palm, who's actually on Sports 56 mornings every Wednesday with Greg and Eli. And there's one more. We also follow Shelby, who we have on every single week. Lenardi, right this second, has the Tigers as an 8 seed. That's the highest seed I've seen for them. But versus Seton Hall, Baylor in that bracketology is the number 1 seed. That's sort of the situation you don't want.
No,
if you're the Tigers.
I don't like anything about that draw, but we'll take it.
I'll say this, though. It isn't an 8 seed for the Tigers. Wouldn't an 8 seed be winning substantially in the AAC tournament? Probably running through it.
Probably.
8 seed right this second seems pretty high.
But I think run through it, you win it all. Win at Dickies Arena. That gets down to a 7, with especially how this weekend is breaking.
Well, the way that Lenardi is putting it right now seems like the Tigers could raise themselves to a 7. I do think, though, that seed is projecting them to get into the championship, at least of the AAC championship, or possibly win it. But Baylor being the number 1 seed, I don't think Tigers second round versus Baylor. That's not a good draw. Dave Amon from Bracketville has the Tigers as a 10 seed versus Michigan State, which I don't mind. But Izzo's always going to be an issue if you were to run into him.
Some NCAA tournament history with Michigan State, good and bad.
But if the Tigers were to get through in his scenario, guess who that second round game would be against?
Them.
Kentucky and John Calipari. 2 versus 10. Kentucky versus Memphis. That'd be an interesting one. Tigers, though, that would be a tough matchup.
For the Cal haters that I am not among, the most negative thing I've said about him, and I was on with Dave the other morning. Look, he's a great coach. He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. He has a title. The sharpest thing I've ever said about him and I think it's factually correct. Never has had a coach had so much and won so few championships. How he just has won, I think that's not being unfair.
How many does Bill Self have?
Just one, but he hadn't had that. He hadn't had that first round bevy of talent.
Yeah, he's
close.
Fair amount. He's close. Yeah, probably not on Cal's level.
But also, now Bill Self did have some previous good stops at KU. Even good stop at Oral Roberts, good stop at Tulsa, good stop at Illinois. We know about here in 08. Even with Marcus Camby at UMass, you probably should win one with him.
It's UMass. That's tough. He did a good job, though.
But again,
I understand your thought process too, because there are some
to have that much and to have one title 10 years ago in New Orleans. There will be a lot of symmetry to
also,
if Kentucky goes to New Orleans.
And John Calipari is notorious for every third or fourth year having just a dreadfully not good team.
Last year,
just not good.
The Robert Morris NIT first round loss team.
Yes, 500 or barely above 500 teams with all the talent he gets.
He's great on NBA draft day. And again, for him to have now been at Kentucky 14 years, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they sign up for more than one on announcement day with John Calipari?
I would say that, yes. They're used to winning there. Moving on, Shelby Mast.
This is his 13th year.
Shelby Mast has the Tigers as a 10 seed playing. This is my favorite. This is probably the best scenario of all the bracketologies I've looked at. Memphis playing TCU in a first-round game, 7 versus 10. And the 2 seed in that situation would be Wisconsin.
Oh, no.
I say bring it on, athlete.
I don't mind that.
No.
Of all the ones we're talking about right this second.
I say bring it on athletically.
I would take that.
You're scared of both sides of that, TCU and Wisconsin.
I'm terrified of both those. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not, because I don't think Jamie Dixon provides a whole lot of heft, and for that experience for Coach Hardaway, that's a good way to get it. To get that win over him, and then matchup material-wise, if you lined up the Wisconsin players and the Memphis players, who do you take?
And also, if we're talking about a second-round matchup versus Wisconsin or Kentucky, I mean,
neither are good, but
and Michigan State, the only reason I would lean playing TCU over Michigan State is Izzo and in tournament time. That's the only reason.
Izzo just got one, too.
I know. Yeah.
TCU's a sneaky good team.
22 years ago. The last time the Big Ten won one.
Yeah, but he figures it out every year.
Jim Delaney said that was their sport.
But to be fair, Michigan State has sort of floundered down the stretch of the season. So I guess there is that. And the final one we follow is Jerry Palm. Palm has them as an 11, and he also thinks that if they lose this first round game against UCF, they should be worried. I don't think that's the case, but he says versus Colorado State, and then their matchup
winning fixes it all, doesn't it?
And their second round matchup in his bracket would be Illinois if they were to get through that, or Long Beach State, but the 3 seed coming out of there is Illinois. But the thing is, the Tigers, I think you almost want to stay out of that 8-9 situation. Although you want to win the AAC tournament, you want to do what you can to win the AAC, but it's a double-edged sword. You don't want to get yourself to that second-round matchup against the 1 seed.
I take whatever seed that comes with you having nets around your neck and a championship trophy from Moresco about 4:30 Sunday afternoon in Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. Wherever that falls, fine. Because that would be worth a lot. That would be rings. No kidding here. No joking here. That would be a banner, conference champions. That's worth a lot. Or conference tournament champions.
I understand. NCAA tournament's what you play for.
And back from everybody counting them out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the Tigers will tip off at 8, or probably after that, probably substantially after that, versus UCF. Grizzlies in action tonight versus the Knicks at home. And we do have some sort of breaking news on that front, reported by Tim McMahon. Dylan Brooks is expected to make his return to the Grizzlies during this upcoming road trip, in which they have, 4 in a row on the road? 4 in a row, Thunder, Pacers, Hawks, and Rockets all on the road.
3-1 roadie?
I think that's fair. 4-0, possibly.
Possibly.
There's
tougher 4-game road trips at this time of year than that.
They've been so up and down. And Dylan Brooks.
Since right before the break that lost to Portland.
I think everyone talks about the defense with Dylan Brooks, and rightfully so. He's a pest. He makes people angry. But I do think adding another guy who can create off the dribble helps. And Dylan Brooks does that. He provides that.
Do you want him back more offensively or defensively?
Both. I think because there's been games in the stretch without him where Ja has done too much offensively. The load offensively has been ridiculous. He's putting up 28, 29, 30 shots in a game, and I don't think that's the best Ja that we see. I think the other night against the Pelicans, that's the type of Ja you want night in, night out. That's what leads to team success is the 28-8 or 24-8-8 stat line with 2 turnovers, where he's distributing.
52 is a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. I'm not.
It's
a whole lot of fun.
52 every night.
If you can get to 52, I think that helps team winning too.
Again,
I'm not saying that him scoring a lot of points leads to them losing.
I don't care if you play against air. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50.
But
if you're playing against the Idlewild Saturday Morning League, he averaged 50.
He's only 7-footer.
Yeah.
He's the most athletic 7-footer at that time.
That's not accurate. There were other bigger players. He was just so much better than all of them.
And athletic.
Yeah.
Yes. But how much do you buy into that though? The Ja Morant we saw the other night versus the Pelicans, 8 for 13, 2 for 4 from 3, 24-8-8. That you don't. I mean, and yes, he's going to have nights
two other
where he
guys
scores
with 24.
40.
That spaces it out a little.
You had 6 guys in double figures. But Ja Morant being able to distribute more takes a lot of the load off of him, and it gets more people involved. And I think come playoff time, when they start to shift how they're defending Ja, that's going to be vital.
The Grizzlies tonight at FedEx Forum against the team from my youth, my favorite team when I was 10 years old, the New York Knicks. Dick Barnett, Bill Bradley, Willis Reed, Earl Monroe, Walt Frazier.
They ain't walking through
Phil
that door.
Jackson. None of them.
they ain't.
Well, Walt Frazier may, because he may be on the announce team.
Might.
But he's not playing.
They ain't walking through that door.
Dave DeBuscher.
Speaking of a team that I think a lot of people had some decent expectations for that have just been so embarrassingly bad in a lot of ways, the Knicks this year. Julius Randle.
Sounds like with the weather tonight, I might not be walking through the door in an hour and 15 minutes.
Julius Randle coming off that All-Star
and last
performance last year and most improved player last year.
Last year wasn't real for them.
Isn't it a Tibbs thing too?
Yeah.
That's a Tibbs thing.
Time's out, doesn't it?
Yeah, he
comes in strong.
He runs his team.
Blows hot and cold.
He runs his teams in the ground, and also he's still trusting the exact same guys he trusted in Chicago: Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson.
Time's moved on.
Time has moved on. He's
a lot of surgeries.
You got to figure it out after a while. I mean, he's tried to recycle these guys for years, and it worked last year to a certain extent.
He does believe in Derrick Rose,
and I don't blame him.
I don't either.
Because the highs there in Chicago were unreal. The highs were crazy.
You take out those injuries and what it could have been, but I think it's already Hall of Fame.
I also think with Julius Randle this year, after what he did last year, I think he thinks he's more than he is.
That can happen, and he's not.
That happens, and their offense was very predicated on him. I think R.J. Barrett's taken a step forward, but Julius Randle has just been turnover machine. He's been
unhappy.
He shoots with volume, doesn't necessarily make with volume. It's been a tough year for them, but the Grizzlies take them on tonight in the FedEx Forum. Let's go ahead and get to our final break of this show and our final break of the week.
You have opinions?
What do you hear? What do you say?
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
It's Conference Championship Week in college basketball, and FanDuel Sportsbook has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can place their first college basketball bet risk-free, and if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. The app is so easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and sign up with promo code CASH to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. That's promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Sure, this spot for Sweetgrass Next Door in Cooper Young could be all about March Madness. With all the high-def TVs, all tuned to the games you want to watch, it would make sense to spend this whole time talking about enjoying college basketball at Sweetgrass Next Door. But there's so much more to the place. It would be a shame to dwell on just that. This is the perfect neighborhood bar with great food, great drinks, and most importantly, great people. If you want to go to some out-of-control chain to watch games, that's your choice. But if you want to be in a place where you'll feel comfortable and see the games, it's Sweetgrass Next Door in the heart of Cooper Young. That's the place for you.
Hi, I'm Tony Harris, former East High School and University of Tennessee All-American basketball player. As a former player, I assisted a lot of teammates into scoring points on the basketball floor. Now, as an experienced insurance broker, I assist communities and families with retirement, investments, college savings plans, 401k rollovers, and life insurance with living benefits. This past year, in 2021, my company, HOM Financial Services, put $10 million back into the communities of Memphis with our services. We have a team of licensed experienced brokers ready to assist you and your needs. Contact me today at 901-501-9343. Again, that's 901-501-9343 at HOM Financial Services. Let me, Tony Harris, assist you today.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
What's happening Mid-South? Are you ready for a new ride from Gossett Kia on the Pike? We got it covered. Take your pick, 2022 Kia Soul LX or 2022 Kia Forte LSX. We got it at $199 for 36-month lease, $27.99 due at signing. And let your adventure begin in 2022 Kia Sorento LX. $299 for 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You got to make your move today to Gossett Kia on the Pike. Come see Bobby J. He'd love to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Sold in 7/18/2252. MSRP $20,960. Forte NE 461,574. MSRP $20,770. Sorento $899,0199. MSRP $32,120. Includes all rebates and incentives. $695 PF. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/4/2022 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn.
One more time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Brett, what I learned today is that Deshaun Watson was deposed and he had to go in front of a jury and sort of talk about all of the things, and no criminal charges. There was criminal complaints that they were trying to get criminal charges to stem from, and he will not face any of them. And according to Adam Schefter, immediately following this announcement, the trade market for Deshaun Watson is about to be ramped up really quickly, and there's going to be a lot of people willing to go after him.
Well, I said very early on, this is what our courts are for. This is where it should be settled, and with this, it feels like it is being settled, and he goes on to his career.
Yeah, if there was a criminal charge, though, and that's what I talked about, was it a couple weeks ago? I talked about if there is a criminal charge that stems from this, I don't know if Deshaun Watson will ever play, but it's looking like at this point, with no criminal charges, he will be on the field pretty soon.
I go with what the courts say. I learned hard pass on Nate Oates. Good job at Bama. The bar's pretty low there. Avery Johnson, Anthony Grant, Mark Gottfried, they lowered it. And it's basketball at the ultimate football school. It's the University of Nick Saban, let's be honest. But Nate Oates is not impressive X and O, not impressive with a plan B. If the threes are falling, great. If they're not, he's out.
You're familiar with memes, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't call it memes, right?
Well, I did it first, yeah.
Memes?
Yeah.
They're memes.
Memes.
You ever seen the meme where there's a stick
I had
figure
an
poking
meme.
something with a stick,
Yeah.
and he says, do
Do
something.
something.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like with Nate Oates.
Get the chalkboard
do
out.
something different. Try to get to the
He
rim.
doesn't.
Figure it out. This is what we do.
I mean, the idea
We
that
live
he was
and die by it, and
the
that's
dream
not.
successor at Kentucky for Calipari, no way.
I'm gonna be honest. That's not good coaching.
Mm-mm.
That's hoping. You
That's
texted me
not
that
a
last
plan.
night. That's hoping.
That's not a plan. That's not a strategy.
It's unreal. What I could have done without. Nets at Sixers last night. Whole lot of made about nothing. That was an awful game. That was terrible. The Philly fans turned on them quickly too. They got the boo birds out.
Don't they always?
Nets won 129-100.
Did they boo James Harden? Did I get my first booing of Harden?
And at first I sat there and I said, okay, the way that Embiid and Harden have been playing, this surprises me. But then I thought about it. How can I be surprised with Embiid and Harden, who have every single time
And Doc.
when the going gets tough, when the moment gets big, they fold, versus Kyrie and KD, who seem to rise up in those situations. I shouldn't be surprised at all by what we saw.
If you had a medical issue and you had to go to either of these doctors for advice, would you go to Dr. Jerry Buss or Doc Rivers?
Let's go. I'm going Jerry Buss all day. All day, Jerry Buss.
You know he's got a good pharmacy hookup. With
He
a lot
might
of
have
pills.
a cigar. He might have a cigar in his right hand,
Cutting on a brandy.
and a brandy in his left. But I'm going to him.
The guy could have done without Michigan still in every bracket you look at, and not even in Dayton. They're pretty firmly in. Big brand, cool fight song, great helmet. I guess that gets you a lot. I don't get it.
You must love that fight song and that helmet. Huh?
I do love that fight song. I do love that helmet.
What's best fight song? Is it Michigan
or Notre Dame?
I'm going Memphis.
That'd be
I'm going Memphis.
It's a good one.
You said it was the greatest.
I said
today.
among the best.
You were sucking up.
Great all-time fight song.
I still think you were sucking
No,
up.
I've loved every strain of it since 1972.
What we're looking forward to this weekend, just an unreal amount of basketball. Tonight, we have the Grizzlies versus the Knicks. We have the Tigers versus UCF.
Yeah, got the Grizzlies tonight. The Grizzlies on the road on Sunday in Oklahoma City. The big bracket reveal on Sunday. That'll have everybody's attention. We'll have our brackets in front of us on Monday. Bracket challenges everywhere. I don't think anybody good will be left out of the bracket. You've had since November to do your work. If you haven't done it by now, I don't think you've got a complaint. I don't. Used to at 64, there were the jilted teams at 65, 66, but at 68.
You're making me be the mid-major guy. I think there are good teams left out. I think North Texas is a good team. I think some of those teams in those lower conferences,
but they know their lot in life.
They know what life is like. But I that's the only thing. That's the only argument I'd have. With
Rainy Ponte Vedra at the Players, snowy Memphis, time change Sunday, war. What else could happen this weekend? And that's not wins above replacement war. We got real war.
Do we have any tickets punched before Sunday?
Oh yeah, there's
American?
one early in the morning.
Okay.
First game of the day punches one tomorrow morning.
The Ivy League.
10 o'clock tip in the morning.
Ivy League and America East. Looks like so. UMBC, Vermont, Cornell, Princeton.
Oh, buddies, UMBC. They did it, didn't they? I said it would never happen, 16-1.
They did. Over Virginia. Virginia's nowhere to be found.
And they routed them. It wasn't even close that night.
I remember where I was. I was in Iowa City that night, believe it or not.
It had to be snowing in Iowa City then.
It wasn't, actually. It was cold as hell. It was cold as hell. I had
cold
my
the
winter
4th of
stuff
July
out.
in Iowa
I had
City.
winter boots out, and I had, yeah. You ever been to Iowa? You've never been to Iowa. You've never been to the state of Iowa. No way.
No, I've been to Des Moines. I did arena football there. I told you that
yeah,
story.
yeah,
Went to state capitol in Des Moines, loved it.
Yeah.
Saw Kurt Warner pull for Jake Kelchner. Yeah. Jake Kelchner.
Where's he at, man?
Played college at West Virginia. He's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame like Kurt Warner.
Anything like what Bruce Marshall said earlier about maybe selling some State Farm insurance?
Last second winning field goal for the Memphis Pharaohs that night. Brian Lee, the Ole Miss product. Good from about 35.
Love a good Pharaoh story.
On a Friday night, 1995.
Your recall's unreal. Arena football.
Yep.
That's something. That's all we have for today and the week. Thanks to Alan Bell, Bruce Marshall, Drew Barrett, and Jason Munns for their contributions to the show. Thanks to you for joining us. For Brett, for Brian, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night, weekend, and be safe. We'll holler at you Monday.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair,